Broadcasting more than 2,000 games live and archived in 15 sports in over 10 counties in western Pennsylvania, as well as being the exclusive home for all the WPIAL playoffs and championships for nearly 2 decades. Anytime, anywhere, always there. We are the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
Welcome to WPIAL Football 2017 and the TribLive High School Sports Network video stream Game of the Week here on the TribLive High School Sports Network. This evening, it's a battle in Class 3A's Interstate Conference as the Elizabeth Forward Warriors host the South Park Eagles. High school football at HSSN.triblive.com. is sponsored by UPMC Sports Medicine, by Carlow University, by AstroTurf, by Dollar Bank, by Chick-fil-A Robinson, by WQED, and by Trib Total Media. Now let's head out to Elizabeth Forward High School, and along with Jess Levo, here's Paul Paterra and Lou Rood with all the action.
Good evening and welcome to Elizabeth Forward High School on an absolutely beautiful night here in mid-October in western Pennsylvania. Class 3A Interstate Conference football. The Elizabeth Forward Warriors, 6-0. Top team in the conference right now, 6-1 overall. Take on the South Park Eagles, 4-1 in the conference, tied for second with Derry, 4-3 overall. Paul Paterra along with Lou Rood, Jess Levo on the camera in a game that's coming your way, audio and video, and this shapes up to be a dandy, Lou, but there's a lot of excitement right here tonight at Elizabeth Forward High School. Why not? This team has a chance with a win tonight. We know they're in the playoffs, but with a win tonight, the Warriors clinch a conference championship. Okay, maybe that's not a big deal. It is here because it's been a long time since the Warriors have been called conference champions.
Yeah, 32 years to be exact, 1985. And Dick Fields was the head coach. Bap Manzini was one of his top assistants. Other assistants, Tim Kiefer, Earl Thompson. A gentleman by the name of Paterra, Greg Paterra, was the big running back for the team, now an assistant coach here at Elizabeth Forward. Danny Tarabella, another star player off that EF team. They went on to win the Big Nine Conference, hosted a playoff game. You know, if they win tonight, they'll host a first playoff game for EF since 1985. They beat the Mount Pleasant Vikings. Bill Elder was the head coach that far back. And you ask, how do I remember all the way back then?
How do you remember all the way back then?
I was coaching back then, Paul. I was just getting started coaching, but I was coaching back then. And I actually saw a couple games right here and was at that playoff game when they defeated Mount Pleasant in the playoffs, and they went on and lost in the semifinals that year. But it's a huge night for EF. For South Park, it's a huge night too. They don't have to win to make the playoffs, but if they don't win, it's going to take a lot of help for them to get in there. And if you look at the scenario, EF's already clinched, you mentioned that. South Park at 4-1 is tied with Derry for second place, and a half game ahead of McGuffey, who's 4-2. South Park loses the head-to-head tiebreaker with Derry, but wins it versus McGuffey. If South Park wins out, even if Derry wins out and the Eagles finish third, they would likely get one of the third-place wild cards in 3A with only one conference loss. South Park could still make the playoffs if they lose at EF, but they have to beat York and they have to get a lot of help to finish second or make it as a wild card. So that's the scenario that we face right now. And if you look at 3A, they only take 8 teams. And so, and there's been a lot of talk that next year when the realignment comes around, they might do something about this playoff scenario with 3A because only 8 teams make it. That means the top 2 teams from the 3 conferences and 2 wildcard teams. So if you're looking at the top teams in 3A, just for example, the Allegheny Conference, either Keystone Oaks at 4-1, Freeport at 4-1, or Shadyside Academy at 4-2 are going to miss the playoffs. In the Beaver Valley Conference, Central Valley or Beaver are going to get left out. And in here, in the Interstate Conference, Derry, South Park, and McGuffey are fighting for one guaranteed spot and maybe a second wild card position. So a lot of very good, high-quality teams in AAA and not a lot of playoff spots.
And you mentioned Central Valley. That's the only team to have defeated this Elizabeth Forward Warrior team this year. Elizabeth Forward is an offensive juggernaut. The Warriors have outscored conference opposition this year by an eye-popping 283 to 38. The Warriors have not scored less than 40 points in the game since week 1. And in that week, they scored 39 points. South Park seems to have found itself recently. The Eagles had a stretch where they were shut out 3 weeks in a row. But the last 2 weeks have outscored the opposition 78 to 20, and it all seems to be happening as Damon Smith seems to be settling in at the quarterback position.
Well, that, and they got away from that murderer's row of those 3 they got shut out in. They lost to Wash High, Derry, and Aliquippa on 3 consecutive weeks, and that's a tough schedule no matter where you run into them, but to play them back to back to back is even more difficult. So for South Park, they've got their hands full tonight. We got a chance to see the Eagles last year when they were up at Derry. Haven't had a chance to see them this year. I did get a chance to see EF earlier in the season, like very early, when they scrimmaged Bell Vernon. And they held their own against the Leopards, and the Leopards currently undefeated in the Big 9 Conference. So should be a very entertaining game tonight here at Warrior Stadium.
Captains meeting at the middle of the field for the South Park Eagles. Damon Smith, number 1. Isaiah Mack, number 12 for Elizabeth Ford. Number 11, Gavin Martick. Number 16, Zach Benedek. Number 22, Tyler Osilka. And number 53, Dylan Turner. The officiating crew, Denny Laria is the referee. The umpire, John Yerridge. The head linesman is Larry Tomei. Line judge, Chris Sarich. The field judge, Dean Laria. And the side judge is Ryan Brucker. And of course, this game also on the video stream here on the TribLive High School Sports Network. Elizabeth Ford has won the toss. We'll take the football, go from right to left. Warriors in the black jerseys, black pants, little red on the sleeve, white numerals. South Park in the white jerseys, white pants, white helmets, powder blue numerals, powder blue trim. Elizabeth Ford, of course, the black helmets. Warriors 6-0 atop the Interstate Conference. Derry and South Park tied for second at 4-1. McGuffey fourth, 4-2. Mount Pleasant 2-4. Yock 1-4. Waynesburg 1-5. Southmoreland 0-5. This is Elizabeth Ford's last conference game of the season. Warriors host Burgettstown next week. South Park is on the road to Cougar Mountain next week, take on Scotwood's Yock Cougars. South Park, of course, hasn't really had a home field.
No, they haven't. They've played
renovation out there. They have played all on the road this year. Their home fields have been Ringgold, Baldwin, Dormont Stadium, and Mount Lebanon. South Park with the ball on the tee. Teeing it up for the Eagles, A.J. Ippolito. Going deep for the Warriors. Near side, number 11, that's Gavin Martick. He is the favorite receiver of Zach Benedict, the quarterback. Seth Endress is far side. Kickoff comes near side, Martick at the 17. Puts it under the right arm over the 20, 25. Breaks a tackle, he's at the 35. Wrestled down at the 37-yard line. Good field position for the Warriors. Zach Benedek, the quarterback, 6 foot, 185-pound junior. Good athlete, also very good in the classroom. 4.0 student, and he had the lead in the spring play. Anything goes here at Elizabeth Ford High School.
Sounds like anything goes for him. He's thrown for 999 yards on the season, 17 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions. Not too shabby.
Sorry about that. Lou ball in the near hash mark. Warriors going from right to left, quarterback under center. Don't see that too much these days. Man in motion from left to right, that's Martick. Back stacked in an eye. 3 men across the defensive front, 2 outside linebackers pinching up. Quick hitter to the fullback inside. Tripped up after a gain of 2 is Seth Andrus. The fullback, 6 foot, 200 pounds. Will make it a 2nd and 8.
Yeah, tried to run a quick trap with the guard. Catch South Park off balance, and just tripped up as he got through the line. If they hadn't have tripped him, he had a lot of running room there. So it almost worked for the Warriors.
Elizabeth Ford averaging 44 points a game. 1 back set this time. 2 receivers wide to the far side of the field. Wing back left, and he goes in motion from left to right. That's Andrews. Benedek rolling that way. Floats it underneath a little too far for Andrus, incomplete, 3rd and 8.
And he had a man wide open down the field if he'd have looked up. I think the play was designed to go to Andrus, but his wide receiver, the furthest man out, number 23 for the Warriors, Nathan Alberts was all alone a good 15 yards beyond the secondary.
3rd and 8, Elizabeth forward at its 40. Alberts goes wide to the right. In fact, it's going to be trips that way, receiver left. Shotgun formation, Malloy to the right of Benedek in the backfield. 5 across the front again for South Park, 7 in the box. 6-man rush. Benedek throws incomplete. Little too tall for Gavin Martin. And it'll be 4th and 8. Elizabeth Ford has to punt. And a win on defense for Marty Rick's South Park Eagles, 3 and out.
Yeah, good job by South Park. Damon Smith, excellent coverage that time for the Eagles. He was with Martek step for step. And pass was a little high to begin with, but even had he been able to get it down a little bit lower, Smith was there on the coverage.
Elizabeth Ford to punt on the 4th and 8. Warriors with the ball at their 40.
Keep to receive. Dustin Seiler.
Seiler awaiting the kick, high end over end, and it goes out of bounds near side, and will be marked at the South Park the 30-yard line. Eagles will start their 1st and 10, 11:05 to play in the first quarter. EF 3 and out on its first possession. South Park's first possession, the quarterback Damon Smith, he was a wide receiver for this team last year. Moved to quarterback, settling in nicely. And last week's win over McGuffey accounted for over 300 yards of total offense and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, 790 yards passing on the season and 551 yards rushing. So a dual threat quarterback for the Eagles.
Pistol formation for South Park. Isaiah Mack lines up behind Damon Smith. Elizabeth Ford 5 across the defensive front. Man in motion for the Eagles. Give the ball to Isaiah Mack. Mack finds a bit of a hole off the right side. Give him 4 to the 34, 2nd and 6.
Yeah, tried to just run him right up the middle on an ISO play, and nice defensive stop by Ricky Salone, or Saloni? Saloni, Ricky Saloni, from his defensive tackle position for the Warriors.
2nd and 6, South Park. Eagles going from left to right, staying with the pistol, 4 receiver set. 2 each way. Mack lines up behind the quarterback, Damon Smith. Warriors pinching up on that line of scrimmage on defense. Smith takes the shotgun snap, looks to throw, throws it deep, incomplete, intended for Devin Turner. That combination hooked up for 3 touchdowns last week in the win against McGuffey. 2 touchdowns, excuse me. But Turner had 4 catches for 108 yards last week.
Yeah, just overshot him, but essentially thrown into double coverage as Martek was there along with the safety, and it was going to be a difficult pass to complete. So big 3rd down for South Park.
3rd and 6, Eagles at their 34-yard line. Going to send trips to the far side of the field this time. Receiver near side as well. Press coverage near side for Elizabeth Forward. Smith, pass quick over onto the left side. Receiver catches the football, but he's dropped for a loss back to the 31-yard line. Jesse Ferguson makes the catch, but he is met by a host of Elizabeth Forward Warriors, and it'll be 4th and 9 for South Park.
Yeah, the corner and the outside backer made that play. As soon as they realized it was just a hitch route, they came flying in a hurry. And then one of the linebackers, I believe it was 58, Nathan Homa, came in and just cleaned it up for the Warriors.
Stephen Kamunk into punt. Chase Bodser, one of the deep return men for Elizabeth Forward. He is far side. And Kamunk gets off the kick in the direction of Bodser. He's going to let it bounce, and it takes a South Park roll, and then drops dead at the 35-yard line of Elizabeth Forward. 9:35 to play in the first quarter. We are scoreless. Elizabeth Ford's 2nd possession of the evening.
Yeah, 3 and out for both teams. Defensively, the coaches are happy. Offensively, they're starting to figure out what they need to do to start moving the football.
Ball on the far hash mark for the Warriors, who will travel from right to left. Once again, a beautiful evening, and we're not in our usual perch at Elizabeth Forward in the press box. We are atop the press box with our camera person, Jess Levo. Makes the video streaming go a little bit easier when you're up here.
Yeah. Plus, it's a great view.
Absolutely. Shotgun formation for the Warriors. Benedek gives the ball to Malloy off the right side, finds a hole, gets across the 40 to the 41 for a gain of 6, 2nd and 4.
Yeah, ran an inside zone there. He was able to find a seam and turn it upfield in a hurry. Good blocking by the Elizabeth Forward offensive line, but, you know, the view is fantastic up here. I don't know that I'd want to be up here if the weather wasn't quite so nice, but it is a great view. At least we have a roof over our head here.
Yeah, if it was lightning, it'd be broadcast be darned. 2nd and 4, EF at his 41. Benedek gives it to Malloy again. Not much this time, maybe a yard to the 42, and that's it. Sending up a 3rd down for the Warriors.
Middle of the defense for South Park just converged on the runner, and there was absolutely nowhere to go.
Brian Malloy missed some time earlier this season with a bit of an ankle injury. Did not play a couple of weeks ago against York, but did return for the Warriors last week in their victory over Southmoreland, 47-3. Backfield this time for the Warriors. 3rd, about 3.5 for EF. Malloy again, the tailback, stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Might have got forward for a yard to the 43, but he's still a couple of yards shy of the 1st down.
They tried to go unbalanced that time. They put a twins overlook. They had the tight end to the left and both twin receivers over there, but unable to pick up the 1st down. 4th and about 2.
Garrett Stanley on to punt for the Warriors. And going deep again is Seiler for South Park, so another 3 and out. Stanley hits another high boomer. Far side this time. Seiler on the dead run at the 27 is tripped up, falls forward to the 33-yard line. Nice open field tackle there for the Warriors. 1st and 10 South Park, 7:46 to play in the 1st quarter. Still scoreless, not even a 1st down registered yet.
No, and that tackle was by Seth Andrus, who came up and got him on the dead run. Not an easy thing to do in that situation. So ball's in South Park's court now. See what they can do offensively. Yeah, we talked about the offenses of both teams, but so far it's been the defenses that have had their way.
Devin Turner goes wide far side. 2 receivers that way, a wing back and a receiver right. Smith in a pistol formation with Mack behind him. Smith takes the snap, gives the ball to Mack. Mack with some room off the right side. Hammers for 5 yards to the 38, 2nd and 5.
Yeah, dive read option where he just handed the ball off to Mack, or he could have pulled. If he'd have pulled it, he had a lot of room to run as well. But a good gain on 1st down, make it 2nd and manageable for South Park.
Put the ball at the 37, give him 4 to be 2nd and 6. Mack's a fire plug of a guy. 5'10", 180 pounds. I think he's bigger than that. I don't think they're giving him enough weight.
Yeah, he looks a lot thicker.
Pistol formation again on the 2nd and 6. Mack off the left side, breaks a tackle, fights his way, lunges for the sticks. They're at the 43. They're going to mark him at about the 41.5-yard line.
Yeah, again, good explosion by the offensive line of South Park, and then they just ran the same play, the dive read to the left that they had run to the right the play before. And Mack, as you mentioned, he just gets those legs pumping in there, and he is a load to bring down. He carried the pile for a good 2.5 yards.
3rd and a long 1. South Park ball just shy of the Eagles' 42. Mack again, why not? Fights for the sticks and gets them to the 44-yard line, 1st and 10 South Park.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. That's the same play 3 in a row. Just went right, left, back to the right again, picks up the 1st down. First down for either team in the game to this point.
1st and 10 South Park at its 44-yard line. Eagles going from left to right, staying with the pistol. We got trips near side this time. Turner closest to the sideline. Smith looking to pass. Going to throw deep left side. Man behind the secondary, through his hands and incomplete. That'll make it 2nd and 10. That was Turner over on the far side, and the ball through his hands. He had a step on the secondary.
Yeah, he was running a back shoulder fade there and just overthrew him. He did indeed have, he had actually a couple of steps. If he could have dropped that in there, there was a chance he could have taken it to the house. Nice ball by Smith, but just a tad bit long. Not by much.
2nd and 10, South Park at its 44. Staying with the pistol, 2 receivers right along with a wing back, receiver left. Play action fake, pass through the hands of the intended receiver, number 83, Nick Schnepp. Then almost picked off by Gavin Martek, but it falls to the turf, 3rd and 10.
It was a good thing Martek was looking to go in for the tackle and not looking at the ball. That's the only reason that thing wasn't picked off. I mean, they ran a slant, and the receiver was wide open, but he brought a lot of heat on that pass off his hands, and if Martek would have been looking, it could have been a pick six, but he was lining up the receiver.
3rd and 10, South Park at its 44. 2 receivers and a wingback right, Turner wide left. Smith looking to pass, getting some pressure, rolls right, throws a pass, complete. Inside Elizabeth Ford territory, they're going to mark him just inside midfield. Making the catch there was Jacob Robertshaw.
I'm going to say his knee was down when he went down to make the catch.
So it's a completion of 6 yards to Robertshaw. Make it 4th and 4 for South Park. So the Eagles will punt. Kamunk into punt.
4th and 3. Kamunk will punt.
Bods are going deep along with Martik. The job here of the South Park punter, try to pin Elizabeth Ford as deep as he possibly can. Kamunk's punt. Line drive, tight kick, handled at the 25. Bodger eludes the first defender, gets over the 40 to about the 41-yard line. There is a penalty marker down, however.
Yeah, right in the middle of the field, just above where the F is.
Is this a marker here, or is that just...
No, that's a marker there, and I think there's another one up there, too.
Okay, I couldn't tell if that was...
I think we got 2. I missed the one down by the 40. I saw the one up there.
Yeah, I saw that one. Then I saw some yellow laundry here close to the near sideline.
So a pair of flags down. We'll see if it's 2 separate calls, and if so, what the calls are.
5:15 to play in the first quarter. We are scoreless. Don't forget, coming up at the half, it's the TribLive High School Sports Halftime Show. Dawn Rebel, Chris Harlan of TribLive.com. They're going to update the WPIAL football postseason picture with a couple of playoff factoids.
Okay, the flag down on the near side is a sideline warning on South Park. The other one is against EF, a block in the back. So they will mark 10 off from the end of the run, and it'll be a block in the back, and it's a sideline warning on the Eagles now. So next one's a penalty.
So put the ball back at the Elizabeth Forward 27-yard line. Warriors have yet to get a first down here tonight. And this is an offense averaging 44.1 points a game. And this is their point totals this year: 39, 42, 41, 56, 50, 50, 47. Very explosive for the Warriors. Shotgun formation, Benedict with Malloy to his right. 2 receivers left, 1 right, 5 across the front. Fake to Malloy. Benedict keeping the football. He sheds a tackler. Gets to about the 37-yard line for a pickup of 5.
Benedict on the carry, brought down by 6.
Went unbalanced to the left. They put a pair of tackles out here on the left and ran like a quarterback counter because the guard and the tackle pulled and came back across the line, and nice pickup for EF.
2nd and 5, Warriors at their 37. Wide to the near side of the field for the Elizabeth Ford Warriors, number 23, Nathan Alberts. Shotgun snap, Benedict looking that way, throws underneath the Mardik, and Mardik gets the ball to the 45-yard line, pickup of 8, 1st and 10.
Nice tackle by Damon Smith. Saved what could have been an even bigger gain. Nice combo route. Mardik just ran an out, whereas the receiver on the outside ran a slant to clear the zone out, almost like a pick. And Mardik able to catch the ball and get upfield for the first down.
Mardik had a couple of touchdowns last week against the Southmoreland Scotties. 1st and 10, EF at its 45. Ball in the near hash mark. Warriors going from right to left. Trips off to the right side, receiver left. Malloy to the left of Benedict in the backfield. South Park showing blitz. Here it comes. Malloy picks it up. Pass complete at the midfield stripe. Making the catch there was Jordan Devine for a pickup of 5.
And we get an indication of the arm strength of Benedict. That ball had some mustard on it. And a nice catch by the receiver before he was thrown back. Forward momentum puts it at the 50, but Benedict puts some heat on that thing.
2nd and 5, Elizabeth Forward. Ball at the midfield stripe. Mardik coming wide to the near side of the field. We got Trips far side. 4 across the defensive front now for South Park. Press coverage near side for the Eagles. Again, Benedict looking to pass, throws, has a man through his hands. And then there's a collision in the secondary. Pass is intended for number 30, Evan Lewis, the freshman. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Yeah, South Park going with a cover 2 look as Mardick ends up being double covered almost. He gets hit at the line of scrimmage and then passed on to the safety. And the fact that they were in cover 2 allowed there to be an extra man in the zone to knock off the receiver right as the ball came to his spot out there.
3rd and 5. Elizabeth forward at the 50. Trips right, receiver left. Malloy to the left of Benedek. Benedek, 6-man rush, throws out in the flat right side through the hands of Lewis and incomplete. And it'll be 4th down, and Elizabeth Ford will have to punt again. South Park defense really has to be making their coach, Marty Rick, happy.
I think what they're doing is they're confusing EF a little bit with the different looks they're giving them. Sometimes they're coming out in cover 1, sometimes cover 2. And what I noticed this last time, they doubled Martek every single play. So they're saying, if you're going to beat us, you're not going to do it throwing it to Martek.
And that is Benedek's favorite receiver. Stanley's 3rd punt of the evening already. Another high kick. Seiler on the back pedal, bobbles it, but catches it and retreats inside the 10. Starts near side, goes far side, gets across the 10 to about the 13, where Lewis brings him down. 3:03 to play in the first quarter. We're scoreless. That was good coverage by EF.
That was excellent coverage, and for a second there, I thought he was going to outkick the coverage, but the tacklers broke down and made a nice stop. And now the field has been flipped. South Park hasn't had good field position all night, but it's even worse now down at their own 13-yard line. You don't want to make a mistake this deep in your own territory.
Eagles coming out onto the field. 3rd year for Marty Rick as head coach. He replaced longtime coach Tom Lochran, who is now out at Fox Chapel. Pistol formation for the Eagles. Mack behind Smith, man in motion. Option. The pitch from Smith to Mack. Mack eludes a tackler, breaks another one. He's across the 20, fights his way to the 25-yard line. Pickup of 12, 1st and 10.
Yeah, well-designed play that time. They brought the man in motion, and it ended up being a lead option where the man in motion got out and blocked who was supposed to take the quarterback. That meant when he pitched it to Mack, there was no one there to take him, and that's why he was able to move downfield and pick up the 1st down.
1st and 10, South Park at its 25. 2 receivers left. Turner, the wide man, in the slot. Seiler. Give again to Mack. Mack finds a hole off the right side, stiff arms the defender, and runs out of bounds near side after a pickup of 9 to the 34. And South Park's got something going with Isaiah Mack running the football.
They do, and that time they ran a counter tray, guard and tackle pulled, and nice running room for Mack. Got 11 on the first play, 9 on this one, and the offensive line for South Park starting to take control here against the Elizabeth Forward Warriors.
2nd and 1, South Park at its 34. Staying with the pistol, Seiler in motion from right to left. Give to a new back in there who gets across the 35 to the 36. Rudy Mahoka's first carry of the game. Needed 1, got 2. That's a 1st down.
Yeah, nothing fancy there. He just ran it off tackle, picked up the 1st down, and right now South Park is pretty much saying to EF, we're going to run the football. You have to find a way to stop us.
1st and 10, South Park at its 36. Mahoka stays in the game in the backfield. Man in motion again. This time Smith looks to pass, throws complete to Turner inside Elizabeth Ford territory to the 47-yard line. Pickup of 17, 1st and 10.
And right when you expect him to run it, they make a quick fake on the run and throw a slant to the wide receiver, and a nice drive being put together by South Park. Started at their own 13, and they're already out over midfield, 3 consecutive 1st downs.
That duo hooked up for 108 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. 1st and 10, South Park. Ball at the Elizabeth Forward 48. Mahoka still in the backfield. In the pistol formation, the South Park Eagles. Mahokas again off the left side takes a lick as he gets a yard to the 47-yard line. Coming up to make the stop, Nathan Homa, the 6'2", 235-pound junior.
He came out of that inside linebacker spot, and he was like he was shot out of a cannon. He flew up in there, read the play, and just blew it up quickly. And here's interesting, Paul, for the viewers that are watching this on video stream, the skill people huddle with the quarterback and the linemen just stay on the line by themselves.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that.
I have not either.
Pistol formation, 2nd and 9, South Park, option right. Mack's the pitch man. He's got the football from Smith. Mack trying to get wide, does. Breaking tackles, inside the 40, tiptoeing the sidelines, inside the 30, gets out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Pick up a 21, 1st and 10. Isaiah Mack's playing some ball.
Yes, he is, and South Park has got something going with this option. EF better make some changes defensively as to how they're defending it, or they're going to get burned even bigger than what they just did. There was no one there to take Mack. And you know me in options. Yeah, it's discipline. You got to take the dive man, you got to take the quarterback, you got to take the pitch man. There was no one for pitch.
1st and 10, South Park at the Elizabeth forward 27-yard line. Give to Mack again, trying to get wide, left side, going to be brought down for a loss on a fantastic tackle by number 22, Tyler Osilka, the 6', 211-pound senior linebacker.
Yeah, that time they tried to run an outside zone and bounce it. Osilka fought off the blocker and made a big play for a loss.
Loss of 7 on the play. 2nd and 17, South Park at the Elizabeth forward 34. Mack so far 8 carries, 49 yards, but did lose 7 on that play. 2nd and 17, South Park staying with the pistol. Seiler in motion as usual, fake to him. Smith rolls left, throws a pass, has a man, complete inside the 15-yard line to the 14 are the South Park Eagles, making the catch, number 83, Nick Schnepp.
Bootleg action that time. As Smith faked the run to the right, rolled back to his left, and the receiver just came across on a drag route, find the open spot in the zone, catches the ball, big 1st down.
That's the end of the 1st quarter. It's South Park nothing, Elizabeth 4 nothing. You're listening to High School Football 2017 on the Trib High School Sports Network.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
Some of the top athletes in the WPIAL are featured every week on the TribLive Center Stage, which you can view on our YouTube page. Log on to our website this fall at www.HSSN.TribLive.com. Check out which athletes we're talking to, plus our weekly game nights are also featured on the TribLive High School Sports Network. Paul Paterra, Lou Rood, Jess Levo. Quarter number 2 at Elizabeth Forward High School. Class 3A Interstate Conference football. No score as of yet, but the South Park Eagles on the move. 1st and 10 at the Elizabeth forward 14, and the Eagles will now go from right to left as we start quarter number 2. They're going to mark it at the 16, not the 14. So pick up with 18 on the pass play. But still a nice drive being put together by the Eagles. This one started at their 13. Pistol formation. Smith looks to pass again. Fade pattern for Turner in the end zone. Batted away. A fantastic defensive play by number 29, Chase Bodson. Just knocking that ball away. Make it 2nd and 10 for the Eagles.
Put just a little too much air underneath that ball. Gave the D-back time to recover and get back and knock the ball away.
Ball is at the 14. It looked like they were back at the 16. So it is a 20-yard pass play. 2nd and 10, South Park at the 14 of Elizabeth forward. Twins near side, receiver right. Pistol formation, Elizabeth forward 5 across the front. Option left, there's the pitch to Mack. Mack hurtles to the 10, where he's tackled by number 11, Martin. Pick up a 4, it'll be 3rd and 6.
But again, Paul, did you see anybody there to take the pitch man?
No.
No.
Because he went for the quarterback.
If Martak doesn't come up in a hurry from his safety spot, that's going to be a touchdown for South Park. Again, EF's got to make a correction here to what they're doing defensively because no one's taking the pitch man. I'd be running option every play.
Second and a long 6, ball just inside the 11 of Elizabeth forward. Staying with the pistol. Give to Mack. Mack gets inside the 10 to about the 9.
Inside the 10.
Still about 5 yards shy of the first down. Now, South Park has had some problems in the kicking game. 4 missed extra points in last week's win over McGuffey, so I'm guessing Coach Marty Rick's going to go for it here.
I would think so, too. That time they ran a counter tray, another play they've had some success with. Mack went to his left, took the ball back to the right, guard and tackle, pulled the lead up through, but EF was waiting for him now, and they're going to go for it, Paul.
Play clock at 10 as they break the huddle. 4th and 5. South Park at the Elizabeth forward 9. Seiler stumbles as he goes in motion, and I think Marty Rick wants time. 10:35 to play in the first half. We're scoreless. You're listening to WPIAL Football 2017 on the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlo. Tell us your story using #WhatDriveYou. Carlo University, a proud sponsor of the MSA Sports Network.
It's official. Your one true source for all high school sports is the new TribLive High School Sports Network, and that's where you find me, Paul Paterra, him, Lou Rood, her, Jess Levo. And of course, I should say you're able to watch this game. I'm so used to my IQ always say you're listening to, but you're watching this game too, as it's our video stream game of the week. 10:35 to play in the first half. 4th and 5, South Park at the Elizabeth forward 9. We are scoreless. Eagles going for it. Seiler in motion from slot left to slot right. Damon Smith, the pass, throws man wide open, makes the catch, touchdown. It's Turner, Devin Turner, and the Eagles strike first.
This pass completes for touchdown to 18. Devin Turner.
And it looked like, Lou, that they ran a wheel route there to get Turner open.
That's exactly what they did. They ran a wheel route, brought him up, brought the inside receiver on a slant, wide open.
Michael Mihalik in to kick the extra points. We told you South Park had 4 missed extra point kick attempts in last week's win over McGuffey. The kick is up. No good. Wide right. So the problems with kicked extra point attempts continues. 10.5 minutes to play in the first half. It's South Park 6, Elizabeth 4 0. You are listening to and watching WPIAL football right here on the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
AstroTurf, a pioneer in sports surfacing, proudly supports high school athletics. Visit one of their 280 fields in the tri-state area to see their cutting-edge technology. AstroTurf's focus on R&D enables them to provide innovative surfaces that protect athletes and stand the test of time. AstroTurf now propels performance with iconic turf fields and legendary Recor-Tan tracks. They manufacture, build, and maintain a full range of turf and track systems for total quality control. Learn more at astroturf.com.
Paul Paterra, Lou Rood, Jess Levo back with you at Elizabeth Forward High School. Class 3A Interstate Conference football, 10:30 to play in the first half. South Park strikes first, leads 6-0. With the ball on the tee is A.J. Ippolito for the Eagles. With an 87-yard drive, a fantastic drive. Kicks it far side. Mardick's just going to let it roll out of bounds. So there comes the automatic penalty on South Park. Of course, that's called illegal procedure. And Elizabeth Ford will start at its 40. Now, the Warriors have had the better of field position here tonight, but South Park has had the better looks on offense and finally gets the ball in the end zone after the 9-yard touchdown pass from Damon Smith to Devin Turner. Couple of seniors hooking up. Excuse me, it's at the 35-yard line. Ball on the far hash mark. Warriors will go from left to right on their first possession of quarter number 2. Mardick's going to come wide to the near side. Going wide far side is Jordan Devine. Pistol formation for the EF Warriors. No, this is going to be a traditional I formation for the Warriors. Benedek under center, gives the ball to the fullback who's got a hole off the right side, Seth Andrus. He's got room. Andrus inside South Park territory, breaks a tackle inside the 40, down to the 37, pickup of 28, 1st and 10.
Quick trap on the inside, guard pulled, trap, and Andrus had a nice hole, and then he turned the Jets on. And that's what EF needed.
Seth Andrus, the fullback for these Elizabeth Forward Warriors. It's going to be 1st and 10. He led the Warriors in rushing last week against Southmoreland with 120 yards. 1st and 10, Warriors at the 37 of South Park, staying with an I formation. Benedek under center. Malloy dots the I. Brian Malloy's got the football. He's got a hole off the left side. Puts the head down, bowls over defender, then cuts outside. 15, 10, going to be wrestled out of bounds there. A pickup of 27, and on 2 plays, Elizabeth Forward picks up 55 yards.
Wow.
That's another EF first down.
And they have gone from their 35 to the South Park 11, lickety split. 9:47 and turning to play in the first half. 6-0 South Park. Warriors on the move.
I would say that touchdown lit a fire under AF.
I backfield again for the Warriors. Twins near side. Devine the wide man. Mardick in the slot. Malloy the deep man in the eye. But it's a give to the fullback. Andrus with a cut. Tripped up and going to go down at the 5-yard line. Pickup of 6, 2nd and 4.
Again, that quick trap. Guard pulls, traps. Center and front side guard, double team. Tackle comes down on linebacker, and they trap that D lineman. And they've had huge holes there tonight for Andrus. Just tripped up by the linebacker, or he was going to crawl or going to just sail right into the end zone.
2nd and 4, Elizabeth Ford at the South Park 5. 1 back set this time. Andrus is going to be a wing back off to the left. Sweep that way. Malloy with the pitch, puts the head down. Gets to about the 3 for a pickup of 2, 3rd and 2.
Yeah, and if he just stayed to the outside, he walks into the end zone. But he saw what he thought was a seam, just planted and went. They can get a first down inside the 2-yard line, it looks like. So they could have a 1st and goal here on 3rd down if they can convert.
3rd and 2, ball at the South Park 3. Now the Warriors do not have a field goal on the season. I backfield, new tailback in for the Warriors. Benedek appears to be changing the play. Andrus is your fullback. Zach Benedek gives the ball to Andrus off the left side, fighting, churning, touchdown Warriors.
And it didn't take them long. That was the trap again. Even though they came out of the eye, they ran the quick trap to Andrus. Takes it in, and it took him about 2 minutes and 25 seconds to answer.
I just want to let the sirens play a little bit there. That was kind of exciting. Now Elizabeth Ford going to try to break the 6-6 tie. We got a penalty.
We're going to call that a 3 or 4 yard run.
That was 4.
4?
No, 3. You're right,
3.
3. That was 3. Yeah, let me correct that. I wrote 4, but that was a 3-yard run.
49, Andrew Smith will attempt to point out the touchdown.
Number 20. On to kick the extra point for the Warriors is Smith, Andrew Smith. Lewis puts it down. Smith's kick hits the upright. Hit the far upright, so we're tied at 6. 8:05 to play in the first half. Elizabeth Ford 6, South Park 6. You're listening to 2017's version of WPIAL football right here on the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
Make Chick-fil-A Robinson your destination for a fast and tasty breakfast. Chick-fil-A Robinson offers a variety of breakfast sandwiches, including sausage, bacon, or, of course, chicken. Breakfast is served hot and fresh daily, featuring our handmade biscuits. Need to feed a crowd or a tailgate on Sunday? Chick-fil-A Robinson Catering has got you covered with hot or reheatable chicken trays. Visit our catering website at www.cfarobinsonCaters.com to book your business or social event today. Chick-fil-A Robinson Catering. We deliver.
Coming up at the half, it's the TribLive High School Sports Halftime Show with Dawn Rebel and Chris Harlan. Chris Harlan, of course, of TribLive.com. They're going to update the WPIAL postseason picture with a couple of playoff factoids. Lou Rood's here, Jess Levo's here on the camera. I'm Paul Paterra. 8:05 to play in the first half of this Class 3A Interstate Conference game. 6-6. Elizabeth Forward and South Park tied. Andrew Smith teeing it up now for Elizabeth Forward. So both teams miss an extra point. Mahoka's deep for South Park. And Smith going to kick it away. As Elizabeth Forward answered South Park's touchdown very quickly. Smith, the right-footed kicker, approaches the football, boots it deep. Mahokas handles at the 9. He's across the 10, 15, 20, 25, breaks a tackle, 30, 35, still going. He's at the 40, cut back, one man to beat, gets a block. Mahokas, catch me if you can! A 91-yard kickoff return for the South Park Eagles.
I just got done tweeting the last one. Who got it for him now, Mahokas?
Mahokas, number 14, Rudy Mahokas, 91 yards for the kickoff return. We're scoring fast and furious here now, Lou.
I'll say.
He got through that wave, broke a tackle, got a couple of blocks, and he was gone. Now, we'll see if South Park goes for 2. We've talked about their troubles kicking extra points. And it looks like the offense is on the field for Marty Rick's ball club. 12-6 is the score at this point. Here comes Damon Smith onto the field. Referee Denny Laurie is saying restart the game clock, the play clock, excuse me.
South Park will attempt a 2-point conversion.
Eagles will go for 2. Smith under center, split backfield this time. Man in motion from right to left. Option right. Smith's going to keep it. He didn't get in. Score remains 12-6 with 7:50 to play in the first half. You're listening. WPIAL Football 2017 on the new. Wait, we got a personal foul after the play on defense. Let's keep it here. Will that be assessed on the kickoff?
Should be. If it's dead ball, it will be.
Okay, so then we will go to the.
Yeah, they're leaving. Are they leaving the field or are they staying there?
We'll wait to see if they're going to stay on the field here. And it looks like they're staying on the field. A personal foul was called on Elizabeth Forward. The failed 2-point conversion. Referee Denny Laria sorting things out with his crew. Here he comes. Elizabeth Forward defense is leaving the field. Denny Laria is calling a member of the South Park coaching staff onto the field. We'll wait till this is untangled before we go to a spot break because we don't want to miss the extra point if they're going to get another attempt at it. High atop Warrior Stadium at Elizabeth Forward High School. There we go. Personal foul, Elizabeth Forward. Unsportsmanlike conduct, Elizabeth Forward. So they were bad boys in that play, weren't they?
Personal foul penalty against Elizabeth Forward. Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Elizabeth Forward.
Where's they going to put the ball? About the 1-foot line then? Half the distance to the goal would put it at the...
They still have not placed the football.
Now, I haven't tweeted out the score yet because I'm waiting to see what happens here.
Just hold your horses on the tweet.
I am.
You're trying to catch up, but it's just not happening.
It's not going well here.
Still have not placed the football. We do know 7:50 is left to play in the first half. We do know right now the score is 12-6. We don't know what's going to happen next. Denny Laria, again, coming to the near sideline.
Obviously, South Park's going to get a choice of what they want.
I would think they'd want to try for the 2 again.
I would think if they're allowed, yeah, you want to go for that too. The question is, was it dead ball or was it a live ball? If it's dead ball, you're pretty much the point is no good and you have to take it on the kickoff.
One of the members of the officiating crews across the field with Mike Colodi, the Elizabeth Forward Warrior head coach. Here we go.
They declined.
The 2-point conversion attempt is
Personal foul.
Okay.
So it'll be assessed on the kickoff.
Right.
We can go to the break. 12-6 is your score. You're listening to WPIAL Football 2017 on the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
Coverage of the 2017 WPIAL Girls Volleyball and Boys and Girls Soccer Playoffs is only here on the new TribLive High School Sports Network. Follow all the action from the preliminary round to audio and video coverage of the district soccer and volleyball championship matches. Your exclusive home for all the WPIAL soccer and volleyball playoffs this fall is here on the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
Don't forget to tune in for This Week in the WPIAL Wednesday night at 7. Join us as we visit with some of the top WPIAL coaches. Plus, we're going to preview Week 9, the final week of the WPIAL football season. So after all this, South Park is kicking off from the Elizabeth forward 30. After all those penalties, I don't think I've ever seen anybody kick off this quick, this close to the goal line. You got to go for an onside kick here. There's no reason to kick it deep.
Yeah, makes sense.
So Ippolito tees it up. Elizabeth Ford with 5 guys across the front and then 4 guys in front of the 10. Because if you kick it deep, it's a touchback. And he squibs it. It's bobbled and pounced on at the Elizabeth Forward 7-yard line by Wardropper for Elizabeth Forward. So the Warriors will start 1st and 10 at their 8, trailing 12-6 with 7:50 to play in the first half.
And I got caught up with my tweets.
All right. And there wasn't a touchdown on that play, so you're caught up. But the Warriors deep inside their own territory. South Park, Mahokus with a kickoff return of 91 yards. The Eagles won their last 2 games, but before that were shut out 3 straight weeks. Benedek under center as a wing back to his right, 1 back behind him, that's Malloy. Sweep right, Malloy with a toss. Gets a block from Andrus and gets to about the 9 for a pickup of 2.
Have to be impressed with the job that the South Park defense has done tonight. With the exception of that one drive, they have basically shut down Elizabeth Forward this evening. They don't have many yards, do they, Paul?
Other than that last drive, no. The last drive they went 65 yards.
In a hurry.
Yes. 2nd and 8. Elizabeth Forward at its 9. Receivers each way. Benedek under center. It's a 1-back set. Benedek rolling right. Steps up. Looks like he's going to keep the football, then throws it at the last minute, incomplete. The receiver in the area was Tyler Osilka, but he didn't look like he was ready for the ball.
No, I don't think he was expecting it. It looked like Benedict was going to run the ball, and I think Osilka was turning to make a block.
So 3rd and 8, Elizabeth Forward at its 9. It's a big play here because if South Park can stop Elizabeth Forward, the Eagles will get the ball in good field position.
Yeah, one would assume good field position.
Yes. I guess I was making an assumption there, was I not?
You were, but as we all know.
Not a good thing to do.
No, not in high school football.
Twins left, now the man in motion. That's Mardick from slot left to wide right. And we got a penalty flag before the play gets started. And I know, Lou, from the coaching fraternity, you hate those pre-snap penalties.
Always.
False start against Elizabeth Ford because sometimes an illegal block happens. But those pre-snap penalties, I know those drive you guys crazy.
Yes, they do.
Put the ball back to the 4.
It's kind of like in tennis, an unforced error. You know, it's mental. It's something that you have to focus, you have to be concentrating on what you're doing so you don't make those mistakes.
So it'll be 3rd and 13. Now 3rd and 13, yes, that is. Ball sticks at the 4 and the 17. 3rd and 13 for the Warriors at their 4. Benedek in the shotgun, trips near side. Fades into his end zone. Throws underneath to Malloy. Malloy is going to get to the 9, and that is it. It'll be 4th down, and EF will have to punt.
Tried to run a screen pass to Malloy off the left side. South Park very disciplined on defense. They held their ground. They were right there. Picked up about 4 yards, and that was it.
So EF will have to punt from the end zone. Stanley is the punter.
They should have it on this side of the 50 easily.
Turner going deep, and he is standing inside Elizabeth Ford territory. Stanley gets off a nice high kick over on the far sideline. Turner lets it bounce, and it goes out of bounds at the Elizabeth Forward 45, 6:25 to play in the first half. South Park 12, Elizabeth Forward 6. The Eagles playing some ball tonight.
They are. They're doing a very good job defensively. Their offense has been steady. They've had some plays that have worked very well for them. Special teams has made the difference for South Park tonight, that big 91-yard kick return.
Eagles will go from right to left. Ball on the far hash mark as we start this possession. Eagles quarterback Damon Smith, the senior. But the big man on offense tonight for South Park's been Isaiah Mack out of the backfield. 4 receivers set, 2 each way for the for the Eagles. Warriors with 5 across the defensive front. Smith in the pistol. Man in motion from right to left. Give to Isaiah Mack. Mack breaks a tackle. Stiff arms a defender. Mack shedding guys as he gets into the secondary. Down to the 33-yard line. 1st and 10. A pickup of 12.
Mack is an absolute load to bring down. He is a beast. He broke at least 3 tackles on that run.
71 yards on just 11 carries thus far for the South Park senior. There's that weird huddle formation. They get the play from the sidelines, and it's just the skill players that huddle up. The linemen go back into position. Pistol formation for South Park. Smith again to Mack. Mack gets a couple. Brought down from behind at the 31-yard line. Gain of a yard, 2nd and 9. What would be the reasoning for such a huddle?
Well, you're telling your skill people what to do, and you can give your line a blocking scheme with one word. Yeah, zone. Zone right, zone left. We used to call them Zorro. Zorro for zone, and then you give them a right or a left call to go with it.
2nd and 9, South Park at the Elizabeth Forward 31. Trips near side. Smith looking to pass. Deep drop this time. He guns one. It's end over, end up for grabs. Batted around. Intercepted in the end zone by Elizabeth Forward. Gavin Martin plucks it out of the sky. And it's going to be 1st and 10, Elizabeth Forward at its 20-yard line.
And wow, that could have just as easily been a touchdown the way it got batted around. But instead, Marduk, and he intercepted that ball while he was sitting on his wallet in the end zone. So a big turnaround for EF. Now see what they can do with it.
1st and 10. Elizabeth Ford at its 20. 5:19 to play in the first half. It's 12-6 South Park, and that is a big tide turner right there. Because South Park looked like it had a shot to extend this lead. Benedek under center. Receivers each way. 5-step drop. Floats. Has a man. Pass complete to Andrus. And he's brought down at the 45-yard. Ball pops free, so it's going to be called an incomplete pass. He took a lick in the secondary. Ball popped free, so it's going to be ruled incomplete. And we have
wow,
a Warrior
and Andrus is down.
Andrus must have never pulled it in. He took a couple of steps and then took the lick in the secondary. Must have never pulled it in. Incomplete is the call.
Incomplete pass brings up 2nd down and 10.
2nd and 10 Warriors.
And it looked like it was going to be a huge play for Elizabeth Forward. Jess, did you get a good look at that on the video? Unfortunately, we don't have the instant replay on our live stream.
And we don't have to go to the replay booth either like they do in the NFL. Which
can take 10 minutes per replay.
I've often said that if that would ever happen in high school sports, that's when I'm done.
I don't see
it. Can't because school districts can't.
They can't afford it now.
Right.
It's just, yeah, you've got to have multiple camera angles, and you've got to have the slow motion, stop action, instant replay where you can break them down. And schools just can't afford it.
Taxpayers would not be happy.
No, they would not. Know that from experience. They would not be happy.
Andrus is coming off the field under his own power. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Warriors at their 20-yard line. That was quite a lick in the secondary there.
Yep. 2nd down and 10.
2nd and 10.
I didn't get the number of the safety that made that pop, but he did a heck of a job on that.
Warriors 6-1 on the season, 6-0 in the conference, Only loss came September 8th to Central Valley by a score of 42-26. Benedict in the shotgun, Malloy to his right. South Park showing blitz, here it comes. Give the Malloy, left side, nothing doing there. Tripped up, in fact, he lost a yard. Back to the 1, coming to the 19, loss of 1. So it'll be 3rd and 11.
Yeah, nice play by Nathan May. Came up and got Malloy for a loss for the Eagles.
3rd and 11. Elizabeth Ford at its 19-yard line. Another big 3rd down play for the Warriors. Mardick and Devine coming wide near side. Mardick wide, Devine in the slot. Benedict in the shotgun, Malloy to his left. Benedict looking to pass, throws, screen right, and with lots of room, it's Mardick. Mardick's turning on the Jets. It's a foot race. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Catch me if you can. Gavin Mardick, an 81-yard touchdown pass.
Jailbreak screen. And by that, Mardick came in from the outside receiver spot back in towards the center of the field. The lineman went downfield, letting the offensive or defensive lineman come through, and then Mardick caught the ball behind the line of scrimmage, headed right up the field, and he had a seam, took it 81 yards for the touchdown.
And on to try the extra point is Smith. And we've got a penalty marker down before the extra point. I believe South Park jumped offside. That is the call. The screen to Mardick, and he had blockers, and he turned it on. And it looks like with the penalty of offside, EF's going to go for 2 since it's closer to the goal line. Coach Mike Collodi sends the offense on the field. So South Park making a defensive change. 12-12 is the score.
Warriors will attempt the 2-point conversion.
Zach Benedict with an 81-yard touchdown pass. That is his 18th touchdown of the season. He came into this game with 999 yards passing on the season. So he has obviously eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark. Benedict under center, twins to the near side. Quarterback keeper right up the gut and into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. The score, Elizabeth Forward 14, South Park 12. You're listening to WPIAL Football 2017 on the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
On the 2-point conversion by Benedict.
Check out the new TribLive High School Sports Network on social media this season. For breaking news, scores, pictures, videos, links to our articles, and more, follow us on Twitter and Instagram under the handle TribLive HSSN. Get in the conversation on Facebook at facebook.com/TribLive HSSN. And on our YouTube channel, you can find thousands of interviews with local student athletes and coaches, plus highlights and full games. The spot for Western Pennsylvania high school sports on social media this season is the new TribLive High School Sports Network. Check out the new TribLive High School Sports Network on social media this season. For breaking news, scores, pictures, videos, links to our articles, and more, follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Paul Paterra, Lou Rood back with you at Elizabeth Forward High School, Class 3A Interstate Conference football. We had a mild first quarter, but all heck has broken loose here in the second quarter. 14-12, Elizabeth Forward. A couple of big touchdowns. 81 yards on that pass play from Benedict to Mardick. Now, the last time Elizabeth Ford kicked off the Rudy Mahokis, he took it 91 yards for a touchdown. Smith squibs it this time. Handled at the 28-yard line by South Park. Running across the field to the 33, where he is brought down is Seth Jones. Nice open field tackle there by Nathan Alberts for Elizabeth Ford. So there's 4:12 to play in the first half. Of course, I must remind you this game also on the video stream with Jess Levo. 14-12 is the score. Elizabeth Forward leads South Park. The Eagles of South Park will have it 1st and 10 at their 34. Go from right to left. South Park with 2 timeouts remaining here in the first half. Pistol formation for the Eagles. 4 receivers set, 2 each way. EF with 5 across the defensive front. Damon Smith, the quarterback, takes the snap, Gives it to Isaiah Mack off the right side. Nuh-uh. He is stacked up. Might have got a yard to the 35, and that's it. Now, Elizabeth Ford has all 3 timeouts remaining, so we'll see how Coach Mike Collodi chooses to do it. Mack's 13th carry of the game already. He's got 73 yards. 2nd and 9. South Park at its 35. Smith staying in the pistol. 4 receivers, 2 each way again. 7 in the box on defense. Seiler in motion to give to Mack. Left side this time. Eludes a defender. Gets across the 40. Wrestled down at the 41. For a gain of 6. It'll be 3rd and 4. Robert Buccina on the stop for the Warriors. 3rd and 3. South Park at its 41. Clock winding down to 3 minutes to play in the first half. Staying with the pistol. There's Seiler in motion. Fake, no, it is a give to Mahokas. Mahokas is close to the first down. He's got it. Mahokas upended just shy of the 45-yard line. That's enough for a South Park first down. Mahokas gives a nice backup to Isaiah Mack in the backfield. Clock rolling again. Eagles with 2 timeouts remaining here in the first half. 1st and 10, South Park at its 44. Smith back to pass this time. Steps up in the pocket. He's got some room. Smith is inside Elizabeth Ford territory. Brought down at the 47-yard line. A gain of 9 on the play for Damon Smith. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Gain of 9, 2nd down and 1.
South Park looking to try and do something here before the end of the half. But remember, Paul, they'll also get the ball to start the 3rd quarter, as EF got the ball to start the game.
2 timeouts remaining. Clock at 2:13 and turning to play in the first half. 2nd and 1. Smith gives the ball to Mahokas. He's got the first down and more. Breaking tackle, still on his feet as he gets to the 42-yard line for a 5-yard gain. 1st and 10. Gentlemen, move the sticks. We got a fresh set of downs.
And I've been impressed by the running game of South Park. They've been able to move the ball consistently on the ground. Didn't matter if it's Mack or Mahokas in the backfield. They are moving the football via the run.
1st and 10. South Park at the Elizabeth Forward 42. Mahokas is the back behind Smith in the pistol. Smith gives it to him again. Stacked up in the backfield. Bounces off the tackler. Takes it far side. Inside the 40 to the 38. What a nice 4-yard gain.
Yeah, ran about 15 yards to get 4, but an exciting play for the South Park fans.
Minute and a half and turning to play. The Eagles with 2 timeouts remaining. The other thing that Coach Marty Rick doesn't want to do is leave Elizabeth Ford any time.
No, he doesn't want to give them the ball back at all.
2nd and 6, South Park at the 38 of Elizabeth Forward. Smith in the pistol. He's got trips near side this time. Quick pass, left side, complete to Turner. Turner brought down at the line of scrimmage. Might even have lost a yard. Garrett Stanley coming up to make the play. And now South Park will take a timeout with 58 seconds to play in the first half. The score is 14-12 Elizabeth Forward. You are listening to High School Football 2017 on the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
Log on every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock for the latest high school football news during this
kind of
WPIAL, only here on the new TribLive High School Sports Network. Join Don Rebel and other members of the TribLive High School Sports Network team as it visits with WPIAL football coaches, plus they run down the upcoming schedule and preview the weekend's top high school football games. That's this week on the WPIAL, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. this fall, only on the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
Paul Paterra, Lou Rood, Jess Levo, Elizabeth Forward High School. 58 seconds to play in the first half. Elizabeth Ford leads South Park 14-12, and South Park has it 3rd and 6 at the EF 38. Seiler in motion, fake to him. Smith fades back, getting some pressure, steps up, hit as he throws it into double coverage, incomplete. Intended for Turner. So that'll make it a 4th and 6 with 51 seconds to play in the first half. Now, Lou, do you punt here and pin EF deep with this much time left in the first half, or do you go for it?
Well, I think I'd punt it.
And that looks to be...
I mean, you're only down 2. Don't give them any momentum before the half. You get the ball to start the second half. You know, pin them deep. Maybe they'll make a mistake.
Stephen Kabunk to punt. EF has all 3 timeouts remaining. Blotzer is deep. Botzer and Mardick. And Blotzer catches it at the 9, gets to the 10, and that's it. So 43 seconds to play in the first half. It's Elizabeth Forward 14, South Park 12. The Warriors have all 3 timeouts remaining. Don't know if Coach Mike Colodi going to get risky back here.
Now you got a 2-point lead. You've had to claw your way back into the game. You've been down twice. You not only clawed your way back in, you got the lead. I'm not going to do anything dumb here. I'm going to run the clock out and go in and regroup at halftime, and then come out and make my adjustments I need to for the second half, and then come out and try and get after them in the second half. Now, having said that, they'll probably come out and air one out.
Now, it looks like they're in the we're going to kneel down.
Yeah, they're in the victory.
Formation.
Yeah, that's what I would do myself.
And Benedek takes the snap. And he gives the ball to Mardick. Mardick's running with the football. Mardick's got room. He's at the 20, across the 25 to the 28. They may have been in that formation, but a little bit of trickery, and Elizabeth Forward gets 18 yards on the play.
A little bit of the fumble-rooski there. Yeah, and they faked like they were going to kneel down. Did they take time out? Yes, they did. They faked like they were going to kneel down, and Martek was to one side of him. And as he faked the kneel down, he handed it off to him. And then everybody stopped on South Park's side. So
nifty ball handling by Benedek. So it's 1st and 10. Elizabeth Ford at its 29. 34 seconds to play in the first half. Warriors still have 2 timeouts remaining.
Right, but I tell you what's going to happen here because of what they did right there. If I'm coaching, the next time they get in a kneel-down formation, I'm having my players tee off.
You're firing off the line.
I'm firing off. I'm not holding back. I'm telling them, you go through and take everybody out. And that way they can't fake it like that. Yeah, so it's a double-edged sword when you do that.
Warriors are going from left to right.
And I'm sure the South Park coaches have discussed that right then and there, because technically when you go into kneel-down formation, you tell your kids, don't fire out.
Ease up.
Ease up.
First down, Warriors.
Benedek in the shotgun. Malloy to his left. 2 receivers right, 1 left. 4 across the defensive front. South Park coming on the blitz. Benedek eludes it. He's running with the football, far side. Over the 40, wrestled down at the 50-yard line. A pickup of 21 more. So much for EF taking it easy. They're on the move.
I said,
That's what you said. You said be risky.
No, I said after I said they should just run out the clock, I said, watch, they'll come out here and start airing it out all over the place. No, instead they ran a trick play. They wanted to air it out there, and quarterback just took off on a run, on a scramble, and picked up a ton of yards. Now they can air it out.
He went out of bounds and stopped the clock, so you have still 2 timeouts remaining. South Park with 1. Benedek in the shotgun, Malloy to his left. A little bit of a high snap, but Benedek pulls it in. Rolls left a bit. Surveys the field. Throws pass complete to Mardick inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. Clock will stop to move the sticks. But once the sticks and ball are in place, clock will roll. 20 seconds to play in the first half.
You might want to consider taking that second timeout right now.
They're not. Clock running. Benedek takes the snap. Rolls right this time. Getting some pressure, and he's going to be sacked back at the 45-yard line. Coming behind him to make the sack there, number 12, Isaiah Mack. It's a loss on the play of 6, stops the clock with 5 seconds to play in the first half. take the timeout now, but I see why you thought they might have.
I would have.
Because when you're in that hurry up, you tend to rush things.
I would have taken the timeout, got my next 2 plays set up, and then still had a timeout in my pocket.
Now only one timeout. Well, there's still one timeout remaining, but probably with 5 seconds to play in the first half, time for only one play.
All you can do is basically throw a Hail Mary up into the end zone.
Unless you are
run a trick play and run a hook and sugar, hook and lateral.
Or if you're the Oakland Raiders, you could have 3 plays at the end.
Well,
last night they scored the game-winning touchdown on an untimed down that took place after 2 holding penalties. They had 3 tries at the last play. So I've heard. You don't think I stayed up?
Oh, I didn't stay up and watch it.
Trust me, I'm asleep. There's something in my chair that puts me to sleep about 9:30. I don't know what's in there. All right, 2nd and 17. Elizabeth forward at the South Park 45-yard line. 5 seconds to play in the first half. Benedek going to heave it deep. And this one's just going to go out of bounds. So that's the end of the first half. The score, Elizabeth forward 14, South Park 12. You're listening to and watching WPIAL Football 2017 on the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
In another season of change, the one thing that remains the same is exclusive coverage of the WPIAL football playoffs only here on the new TribLive High School Sports Network, starting with the playoff pairing show Monday, October 30th. Whether it's the highway to Hines or the road to RMU, it starts with the WPIAL playoff pairing show Monday, October 30th at 7 p.m. only here on the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlo. Tell us your story using #WhatDrivesYou. Carlo University, a proud sponsor of the MSA Sports Network.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
AstroTurf, a pioneer in sports surfacing, proudly supports high school athletics. Visit one of their 280 fields in the tri-state area to see their cutting-edge technology. AstroTurf's focus on R&D enables them to provide innovative surfaces that protect athletes and stand the test of time. AstroTurf now propels performance with iconic turf fields and legendary Recordtan tracks. They manufacture, build, and maintain a full range of turf and track systems for total quality control. Learn more at astroturf.com.
Paul Paterra, Lou Rood, Jess Levo. We're at Elizabeth Ford High School. It's halftime in this Class 3A Interstate Conference football contest. Elizabeth Ford leading South Park 14-12. No scoring in the first quarter, but in quarter number 2, South Park striking first, a 9-yard touchdown pass from Damon Smith to Devin Turner. Extra point no good. It was 6-0 at that point. Elizabeth Ford coming down the field 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Seth Andrus, a 3-yard touchdown run. Extra point no good. Score was tied at 6. On the ensuing kickoff, Rudy Mahokas returned it 91 yards for a touchdown. Extra point attempt, 2-point conversion attempt, no good. It was 12-6 Elizabeth Ford. Just a few minutes later, an 81-yard pass on the screen from Zach Benedek to Gavin Mardick. 2-point conversion good, and that's why Elizabeth Ford leads this game at this point, 14-12. Don't forget the fall sports postseason is upon us. Follow the 2017 WPIAL Boys Soccer Playoffs starting tomorrow, the Girls Soccer Playoffs starting Monday, and the Girls Volleyball postseason starting with the playoffs pairing show on Monday, as well as the Cross Country Championships only here on the TribLive High School Sports Network. Lou, pretty exciting second quarter. Both teams have done some impressive things, and that's why we got a tight game here.
Yes, it was a much tighter game than what we originally anticipated. South Park jumped out to the 6-0 lead, and then EF came back to tie it up. Neither team could get an extra point. And then immediately after EF tied it up, Mahokas goes 81 yards, right, for a touchdown on the kick return. And then finally, that was 91. Then it was 81 yards jailbreak screen to Martech, and then the ensuing 2-point conversion by Benedict that put EF on top, 14-12. A lot of good things defensively for South Park. For the most part, they kept EF in check. One drive and one huge play, basically, is the difference there. And for EF, they were having difficulty containing the running game of South Park. So if I'm South Park, I'm thinking, I'm not in bad shape right now. I get the ball to start the second half, see if we can't get the running game cranked back up again and go do something, make it happen.
We take you now to the TribLive High School Sports Halftime Show. Dawn Rebel, Chris Harlan. I'm going to give you an update of the WPIAL football postseason picture with a couple of playoff factoids. 14-12 the score here. Elizabeth Forward leading South Park. You are listening to and watching WPIAL Football 2017 on the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
It is the halftime show as the stretch run continues into Week 8 here on the new TribLive High School Sports Network. Dawn Rebel, Chris Harlan of Trib Total Media, kind enough to join me. Week 8, Week 9, the focus is on the playoffs.
Yeah, we're almost there. Yep. 2 weeks to go, and we're playoff time.
Used to be the Highway to Hines, but now they've sort of split the road. Highway to Hines this way and the road to Robert Morris that way. So
the road to Robert Morris is a little bit longer.
Yes, it is. You're right. There's an extra exit on it. All right, we'll start on the road or on the Highway to Hines in Class 6A, nearly set. 6 teams are in. All 4 teams from the Northern 7 Conference have clinched. Pine Richland, North Allegheny, Pittsburgh Central Catholic, Penn Hills all in. 2 top teams from the Southeastern Conference who clash next week. Mount Lebanon and Bethel Park are in. 3 teams are alive for the final 2 playoff spots. A big one going on tonight. Peters Township against Cannon McMillan. Norwin also in the hunt.
Yeah, this is 17 years in a row now that Bethel Park has made the WPIAL playoffs. A pretty impressive streak there for the Blackhawks.
Yeah, it's almost like you opened up a tin of playoff factoids, Christopher. Is that true?
Oh, we got them right here.
Oh, there you go. If we were on camera, there they go. Open that. Put it up to the mic and open it up so people see that. That's freshness. That's a fresh factoid. And that's a good one for Jeff Matheny. Quietly does a good job year in and year out at Bethel Park, does he not?
He does. Underrated coach probably for what he's done there.
All right, 5A. Even in better shape, 7 of 8 teams have clinched. All 4 from the Big East Conference. Penn Trafford, McKeesport, Gateway, Franklin Regional. A lot of head-to-head matchups here in these final 2 weeks to determine the order. Allegheny 9 Conference, Upper St. Clair, Woodland Hills, West Allegheny. Those 3 teams will be going head-to-head these last 2 weeks. Fox Chapel, North Hills, still alive for a playoff spot in the Allegheny 9.
Yeah, Fox Chapel comes into tonight with a game advantage in the standings. But North Hill has the head-to-head tiebreaker from Week 4.
Only 1 conference game remaining for both. Foxes beat Char Valley, as Chris mentioned tonight, and North Hills is done. Class 4A, Northwest 9 Conference, 3 teams in. South Fayette, Montour, Newcastle have all clinched. Mars, Highlands, Knox still alive. Big 9 Conference, only 2 teams have clinched. Bell Vernon and Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah. Mars in the Northwest 9, they're in pretty good shape coming into tonight. 4-2, they've got the edge. They also have a head-to-head win over Highlands, and they play Knock in Week 9, so they kind of can control their own destiny right there.
And a big one in the Big 9 tonight. Trinity against Greensburg-Salem will go a long way to determining a playoff spot. West Mifflin and Ringgold, 2 other teams that are still alive, are going head-to-head tonight.
Yeah, and West Mifflin has a tough finish. They've got Bell Vernon tonight, Thomas Jefferson next week.
Yeah, the inexplicable West Mifflin Titans. Hard to sort of explain how their season has gone, but on the brink of a playoff berth. All right, we'll check 3A, 2A, and 1A when the halftime show continues here on the TribLive High School Sports Network. AstroTurf, a pioneer in sports surfacing, proudly supports high school athletics. Visit one of their 280 fields in the tri-state area to see their cutting-edge technology. AstroTurf's focus on R&D enables them to provide innovative surfaces that protect athletes and stand the test of time. AstroTurf now propels performance with iconic turf fields and legendary Record-Tan tracks. They manufacture, build, and maintain a full range of turf and track systems for total quality control. Learn more at astroturf.com.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
For the most complete recap of Friday night's high school football action, tune in on your way home from the game to the WPIAL Scoreboard Show, only here on the TribLive High School Sports Network. Hi, this is Don Rebel. Join me in a cast of thousands for all the scores with recaps from the top games. Plus, we highlight the night on the TribLive Roundtable. That's the WPIAL Scoreboard Show after the game on Friday nights on the TribLive High School Sports Network and at tribhssn.triblive.com. All right, Don Rebel, Chris Harlan back. Halftime show week 8 continues, talking about the playoffs. Chris over there during the break, munching on some playoff factoids. Don't overdo it, Christopher.
They're good. They're good this time of year.
Oh, yes, it is. Playoff factoid season. You're right. All right, 3A can be a little tough. Only top 2 teams in each of the 3 conferences are guaranteed a playoff berth, and then 2 wild cards. So thus, only half of the playoff teams have clinched 4 of 8. Aliquippa's in. Quaker Valley is in from the Beaver Valley Conference. Seton LaSalle in from the Allegheny Conference. Elizabeth Forward in from the Interstate Conference.
I had coaches a couple weeks ago in AAA already telling me they were figuring out Gardner points and tiebreaker points. This is back in week 5 or 6. That's how complicated and how close it's going to be to figure out those wild cards coming down to the end.
Central Valley, Beaver, Keystone Oaks, Freeport, Shadyside Academy, Derry, South Park, McGuffey, all still with the chance for those other 4 playoff spots. Now we get to 2A and 1A. We switch over to the road to Robert Morris. As Chris mentioned, it's a longer trek, 3 rounds of playoffs like the traditional district playoffs used to be, and thus 16 teams making it in both 2A and 1A. 13 of 16 are in already in 2A. 3 Rivers Conference, top 5 make it, plus a wild card. Steel Valley, East Allegheny, Sarah Catholic, Brentwood are in. Midwestern Athletic Conference, 5 teams in. Cardinal World, North Catholic, Riverside, Mohawk, Neshannock, Freedom all in. Century Conference, Washington, Burgettstown, Charleroi, Beth Center all in.
How about another playoff factoid here?
Okay.
Charleroi in for the first time since 2003.
Wow.
Quite a year for them this season.
Yep. Yeah, they're having a fantastic year. Big game tonight. They've won 7 of 8. Yeah. Bentworth, Fraser, Brownsville, Southside Beaver, Laurel, New Brighton, Avonworth, South Allegheny, even Carleton still alive.
Yeah, big game tonight with Avonworth and South Allegheny.
Yep. Class 1A, 11 of 16 teams are in. Eastern Conference, Jeanette, Imani Christian, Clareton in. Tri-County South, California, Carmichael's, Fort Cherry, West Green in. Big 7 Conference, Rochester, Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, Western Beaver, and Union all in.
Yeah, West Green into the playoffs for the first time since 1993.
Ooh.
That's a long playoff drought they've ended this year.
Wow. Congratulations to the Pioneers. They went to the WPIAL Championship that year, 93, I believe, under Roddy Wilson. Teams still alive in 1A, Springdale, Greensburg, Central Catholic, Bishop Canevin, Riverview, Jefferson, Morgan, Monessen, Mapletown, Shenango, Stowe Rocks, Northgate, and the Summit Academy.
Yeah, Greensburg Central, Bishop Canevin tonight. Springdale's got a couple games, and Monty this week. Greensburg Central Catholic week 9. Those all will shape out that conference playoff picture.
Chris Harlan, you have more playoff factoids next week, correct?
Absolutely.
All right.
Another can of them.
Yeah, sure. It'll open up a can of factoids. Enjoy the second half of the game you are listening to here in Week 8 on the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
And we are back at Elizabeth Forward High School, Class 3A Interstate Conference football. Paul Paterra, Lou Rood, Jess Leva. Elizabeth Forward leads 14-12, and the homecoming candidates are being announced. King and Queen here, the pageantry at Elizabeth Forward High School. In a football game that, well, means a lot to South Park. Elizabeth Forward is in the playoffs. A victory tonight, and the Warriors win their first conference championship since 1985. A South Park loss does not knock the Eagles out of the playoff picture, but makes it really, really hard for them to get into the postseason. Lou Rood's going to have some scores for you in just a bit. UPMC Sports Medicine is excited once again to be partnering with the TribLive High School Sports Network on the UPMC Stay Strong and Play On program. Student athletes will be recognized who remain dedicated to their teams and are determined to return to play from an injury. UPMC Sports Medicine will be granting 2 $1,000 scholarships at the end of the year to athletes who have managed to stay strong and play on. Nominate an athlete today. Click on the Stay Strong and Play On graphic on www.triblivehssn.triblive.com for details. Lou, you got some scores for us?
I do have some. I'll have to effort the rest, but I've got a few to start with. 6A, Northern 7 Conference, Pine Richland 29, Butler nothing. Seneca Valley leading Shaler 31-0, and Bethel Park over Altoona 28-3. 6A non-conference, Pittsburgh Central Catholic 14, Norwin nothing. Also 6A non-conference, Penn Hills 34, Mount Lebanon 14. 5A Allegheny 9 Conference, West Allegheny 7, Woodland Hills nothing. Upper St. Clair leading Hampton 14-7. And Chartiers Valley leading Fox Chapel 13-6, and Moon over Baldwin 16-2. Big East Conference, McKeesport trailing Gateway in their big showdown 14-11 at the half. It's Penn Trafford leading Kiski area 33-12, and Latrobe and Plum tied at 7. 5A non-conference, Franklin Regional and North Hills are tied at 7. 4A Northwestern 9 Conference, it's South Fayette 42, Highlands 7. Montour leading Blackhawk 21-0. Big 9 Conference, Bell Vernon with a 14-0 lead over West Mifflin. It's Thomas Jefferson 28, Laurel Highlands nothing. 4A non-conference, Newcastle leads Ringgold 6-0. 3A Beaver Valley Conference, Aliquippa 20, Central Valley 3. Allegheny Conference, it's Freeport 7, Keystone Oaks nothing. Shadyside Academy 38, Deer Lakes nothing. And Apollo Ridge trailing Valley 14-6. In the Interstate Conference, the only score is the one we have here. Elizabeth Forward leading South Park by a score of 14-12. 3A non-conference, Quaker Valley leads Seton LaSalle 21-7, and Beaver leads Mount Pleasant 6-0. 3A versus 2A, McGuffey is leading Chartiers Houston 48-6. Also 3A versus 2A, Riverside over Elwood City 28-0. 2A Century Conference, Washington leads Burgettstown 7-0. Beth Center is over Charleroi 28-20. Midwestern Athletic Conference, Cardinal World North Catholic 27, Southside Beaver 14. 2A non-conference, Avonworth 21, South Allegheny 7, Clairton 36, Riverview nothing in 1A Eastern Conference action. It's Imani Christian 36-9 over Springdale in 1A Eastern Conference action. 1A Big 7 Conference, it's Our Lady of Sacred Heart 30, Shenango 6. Tri-County South California leads Jefferson Morgan 43-0. Carmichael's and Fort Cherry tied at 7. 1A non-conference, Jeanette over Mapletown 40-0, and Brownsville leading Leechburg 28-0. And those are the scores that I have for you at the moment. I will effort some more here.
So we look at the playoff picture here for the Interstate Conference. As we told you, Elizabeth Forward's in. If the Warriors win, they win the conference championship. So, looking at the rest of the South Park is tied with Derry for second place. 4-1 records for those two teams. They're a half game ahead of McGuffey. South Park loses the head-to-head tiebreaker with Derry, but wins it versus McGuffey because South Park beat McGuffey last week. If South Park wins out, even if Derry wins out, and the Eagles finish third, they would likely get one of the third-place wild cards with only one conference loss. South Park can still make the playoffs if they lose at EF, so tonight's not a must-win, but pretty darn close. They would have to beat the Yacht Cougars in Week 9, get some help to finish second or make it as a wild card. So if South Park and Derry win out, that leaves the Eagles, Trojans, and EF Warriors at 6-1. Head-to-head, they would all be 1-1, and Gardner points would come into play. The WPIAL tiebreaker. No, the Gardner points would be tied, so it would come down to WPIAL tiebreaker points. Coming into this week, EF is plus 60, Derry plus 30, South Park plus 25. Even if Derry and South Park win both games by a max of plus 10, it will leave Derry at plus 50 and South Park at plus 45. EF would also be plus 50 and wins tiebreaker with Derry, so the order would be EF 1, Derry 2, South Park 3. There will be a quiz on this after the game. Study hard.
Get out your abacus, and you almost have to have a higher degree from Carnegie Mellon to figure out some of these tiebreaker scenarios. I did get one update.
Okay.
I was able to find Trinity locking themselves into the playoffs. They are defeating Greensburg-Salem 28-0 right now. That's out of the 4A Big 9 Conference. Of course, only Bell Vernon and TJ have clinched to this point, but this should put Trinity in now in 4A. And I'm still trying to find more scores from the Interstate Conference here in 3A, but, you know, I have not been able to find any up to this point. And I have been efforting, Paul.
I know. You've been working hard tonight, I'm telling you. They're about to name the king and queen here. And we may not be able to get it because we are not in the press box. We are on top of the press box. So we'll see if we can get that information here for you tonight at Elizabeth Forward High School.
This year's king, Mr. Gavin Mardick.
Well, Gavin Mardick, we know that name, number 11 in your football program.
Yeah, we've
number
heard
one
that
in
one.
the hearts of Elizabeth Forward students. He is the king tonight. He's been king on the field already, an 81-yard touchdown reception. Let's see the queen.
2017 homecoming queen is Miss Nola McGuire.
Nola McGuire is your homecoming queen. So the royalty at Elizabeth Forward is Gavin Mardick and Nola McGuire. Congratulations to those two young people, king and queen of Elizabeth Forward's homecoming festivities here on a Friday night at Elizabeth Forward High School. Football team leads 14-12. Paul Paterra, that's me. Lou Rood's here. You've heard him talking a little bit. Jess Levo is on the camera, as this game is also the video streaming game of the week on the new TribLive High School Sports Network. And of course, it's week 8 of the high school football season. Next week is the final week of the regular season, and then we get into the postseason. Postseason and some other fall sports get underway tomorrow. WPIAL Boys Soccer Playoffs. Many games can be heard on the TribLive High School Sports Network. Tomorrow, girls playoffs start Monday. Volleyball playoffs getting ready. Pairing show Monday. Cross country championships coming up very soon. Tennis is finished up. Golf. And then we're going to get ready for winter sports, basketball and swimming and hockey and diving and all those winter sports that will be coming your way.
Yeah, I'm going to have a busy day tomorrow. I've got a triple header in soccer over at your alma mater, Norwin. We've got the Elizabeth Forward Warriors boys team taking on Mount Pleasant at 1 o'clock. Penn Trafford against Butler, and Norwin taking on Cannon McMillan. So should be an interesting day of boys soccer at Norwin tomorrow.
I have had a chance to get to know some of the players on the Mount Pleasant soccer team. That team's been downright stingy this year. Undefeated in section, winning the section championship. Went on a 10-game winning streak where they won, outscored the opposition 36-2. And it's a freshman backstop in Shane Piper who's really been getting it done for that
and
team.
They've won 12 in a row. So the EF Warriors are going to have their hands full and their work cut out for them tomorrow at Norwin as they take on this Mount Pleasant team. I believe Mount Pleasant comes in as a 3 seed and EF comes in as a 14 seed. So
should be an interesting game. Floyd Snyder, the head coach of the Mount Pleasant Vikings soccer team. Mount Pleasant girls also qualifying for the postseason. Bell Vernon girls get in as well?
Bell Vernon girls got in. They will be playing Monday night. EF actually won the section, the girls section. EF finished first. Bell Vernon finished second. Bell Vernon will be playing Hampton or check that, Ambridge on Monday night. The boys play Hampton tomorrow at Bell Vernon, and the girls are at Peters Township. And Peters Township will be playing in the nightcap there. They play at 6 o'clock Monday night. And EF is here Monday night for girls soccer.
And, of course, Mr. Rood has a personal interest in the Bell Vernon soccer team.
Yes, I do. My daughter plays for Bell Vernon soccer team. She's a junior, and so I'm looking forward to seeing playoff game and see how that goes this coming Monday night. And
homecoming festivities still taking place here. And they're spelling out NOLA. I couldn't make out what they were spelling out, but it was some sort of congratulations for Nola McGuire, the homecoming queen at Elizabeth Ford High School.
Of course, the old coach in me is up here gritting my teeth because my players are down there getting pictures taken and cavorting about with homecoming festivities, and we still have a half of football to play in a 2-point ball game.
And not only,
end of my rant.
Not only is Gavin Martick down there, also Tyler Osilka and Seth Andrus. Those are 3 key members of the Elizabeth Forward football team. Gavin Martick's king, and he's getting his picture taken right now. Of course, here at Elizabeth Ford, the locker room is not on the field.
No, it's up at the school.
You have to climb up the hill to the school to go to the locker room. So they'll be ambling down the hill here fairly soon.
It is a hike. I coached here for a couple of years back in the early 90s with George Lamé, and it is a hike up the hill. In fact, it's such a hike. I remember one year Elwood City came down to play us in an exhibition game, and their coaches were upset. They made their buses come down, pick them up at halftime, drive them up the hill to the locker room,
wow.
and then drive them back down again. Needless to say, we got the win that night.
Wow. Gavin Martick still getting his picture taken. Hey, they're kids. Enjoy it.
They are kids. Meanwhile, the coaches are...
Referees are back on the field. Denny Laurie is the referee tonight. The umpire is John Yarridge. Larry Tomai is the head linesman. The line judge, Chris Sarich. Dean Laurie, the field judge, the side judge, Brian Brucker. And here come the South Park Eagles down the hill onto the field. Elizabeth Ford Warriors will be shortly behind them. Eagles in the white jerseys, white pants, white helmet, powder blue numerals and a powder blue trim to the uniform. Elizabeth Ford Warriors in the black jerseys, black shirts, white numerals. Red is on the shoulders of the Elizabeth Ford Warrior jerseys, and they've got a black helmet. And here come the South Park Eagles onto the field. It's Class 3A Interstate Conference. As we told you, Elizabeth Ford 6-0 atop the conference. Derry and South Park 4-1. McGuffey 4-2. Mount Pleasant 2-4. Yock 1-4. Waynesburg 1-5. Southmoreland 0-5. This is the last conference game for Elizabeth Ford this season. The Warriors host Burgettstown next week in a non-conference affair as I try to battle the Sirens.
Good luck.
South Park on the road on Cougar Mountain to take on Yock next week. But as we said, South Park hasn't had a home game all year. The Eagles' home fields have been Ringgold, Baldwin, Dormont Stadium, and Mount Lebanon. The Road Warriors, so to speak.
And that is difficult when you have to play all your games on the road. Yeah, the end result is they're going to have a beautiful stadium when they're done, but in the meantime, here we go. Derry is leading Waynesburg 26-0 at the half in an interstate conference battle. And McGuffey's gone up higher on Chartiers Houston 55-6. As I look here, trying to find more scores here.
Southmoreland a few years back had to go without a home stadium due to damage because of a storm and played all of its home games at Adamson Stadium at California University.
Yeah, they had a flood down there, down on their field, down. Beautiful setting, Southmoreland's field. If you haven't been there, it's a great place to watch a game.
Russ Grimm Field, named after the NFL Hall of Famer, who's an alumnus of Southmoreland High School. And I was on that field the day after the storm, and the field looked like somebody just grabbed a carpet and pulled it, and there were just bumps in the field. And as we were walking along the field, right in the middle of the field was a dead snake.
Wonderful.
So
I'd have been heading in the other direction.
A victim of the storm, a dead snake. teams stretching a little bit before we start the second half. 14-12.
I don't want to date myself here, Paul, but I was actually on that field coaching when Russ Grimm was playing for Southmoreland.
Of course, well, there's been a couple of things.
Beginning of my coaching career. Beginning of my coaching career, but still, I was there. We used to scrimmage him. Believe it or not, I mean, he made the Hall of Fame.
And he was a quarterback.
He was a quarterback and a linebacker for Southmoreland. And, tall kid, but he filled out when he got to college. They moved him, I think, to tight end and then eventually to the line, and he made the Hall of Fame, NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame as a lineman, member of the famous Hogs, the Washington Redskins.
And what kind of athlete he was at one time, he was the all-time leading basketball scorer at Southmoreland High School. Something, a record eventually eclipsed by Eric Roslonsky. Basketball will be coming up just around the corner. So we're just seconds away from the start of the second half. South Park, Elizabeth Ford. South Park scoring on a 9-yard touchdown pass from Damon Smith to Devin Turner and a 91-yard kickoff return by Rudy Mahokas. Elizabeth Ford, a 3-yard run by Seth Andrus and an 81-yard touchdown pass from Zach Benedict to Gavin Martick. All of the scoring coming in the second quarter.
And we want to thank Elizabeth Forward Athletic Director Tim Guffey, the brand new AD here at EF, for the great treatment that we've gotten. We've got a prime spot here on top of the press box, and of course it's always a joy to come to EF. They have, without question, the best food that they offer their guests and the media in the WPIAL.
An enthusiastic affirmative nod from Jess Levo. Yes,
we love to come to EF.
Okay, yeah, there was.
We would broadcast here every night of the week if we could.
Yes. Don't have to worry about where dinner is when I know I've got a game at Elizabeth Forward. South Park will get the ball, start the second half, travel from left to right. Andrew Smith, the freshman, handles the kicking chores for Elizabeth Forward with the 2-point lead. The Warriors, coached by their third-year coach, Mike Colodi. South Park, also a third-year coach, and Marty Rick. Class 3A Interstate Conference football. Elizabeth Forward Warriors, 24 minutes away from a conference championship. Its first one since 1985.
32 years. That's a long time between championships.
I was broadcasting high school football in 1985 in Jackson, Tennessee, my first year of broadcasting high school football.
I was
WDXI AM 1310.
I was in my 6th year as an assistant coach. It was my 2nd year at York High School.
Kick on the far side, handled at the 14-yard line, getting across the 25, the Seiler to about the 26. So that's where South Park will start the second half, led by the senior quarterback, Damon Smith. First half, Smith was 3 of 7 for 41 yards. Isaiah Mack, 14 carries, 79 yards to lead the offense. Zach Benedict, 5 of 10, 109 yards to lead Elizabeth Ford's passing. Mardick had 2 catches for 89 yards and a 19-yard run on a little trick play.
And we'll see if EF made some adjustments defensively to help shut down the running attack of South Park.
Pistol formation for the Eagles. Give to Mack right off the bat. Short pickup of a yard from the 26 to the 27, 2nd and 9. So on the first play, it appears they have.
Well, they brought both inside linebackers that time. That was the one adjustment they blitzed, but it was effective. Mack had been gaining a lot of yards on that. And this still cracks me up, Paul, every time I see this.
The skill players huddle up. The linemen just go to their position.
And they don't even look over for any kind of signals. They just wait till the quarterback gets over and they figure he'll call something.
2nd and 9, South Park at its 27. Option right, Smith pitches the ball to Isaiah Mack. Mack bounces it outside. Mack coming up the near sidelines. Gets out of bounds at about the 30 for a pickup of 3, 3rd and 6.
And I can tell you they did make an adjustment because there wasn't just one person for the pitch man. There were 2 people there. Mack, however, was able to fend off the one tackle and get the 4-yard gain, but they at least had people there to account for him that time.
3rd and 6 for the South Park Eagles at their 30. Coming back in the Eagles lineup at a wide receiver position is Nick Schnepp. He's going to be the wingback off to the right side. Turner is the wide man of the 2 receivers who go off to the left. Damon Smith back to pass. Smith throws, has a man complete in the middle of the field to Seiler, and he gets inside Elizabeth Forward territory to the 45-yard line. Pickup of 25, 1st and 10.
And that was a great dig route. Seiler came out about 18 yards and then cut directly across the field. So he ran straight down the field, 18, and then took a 90-degree angle straight across, hit the opening in the zone. Smith hit him right on the money in stride.
1st and 10, South Park at the 45 of Elizabeth Forward. Pistol formation. Give to Isaiah Mack. He's stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Might even have lost about a half a yard. It'll be 2nd and long for the South Park Eagles.
Smith continues to impress with his passing. He has been very accurate tonight throwing the ball.
Josh Remlinger in now for South Park at a wide receiver position. It'll be 2nd and 10. South Park at the Elizabeth Forward 45. Remlinger wide left. Seiler in the slot. Turner is slot right. A.J. Ippolito is the wide man. Turner in motion from right to left. Smith looks left, throws right, in and out of the hands. That's Seth Jones, 6, not A.J. Ippolito, 8. Nonetheless, incomplete, 3rd and 10.
Tried to run a slant, but great coverage by Elizabeth Forward. Took the receiver away, and there was nowhere to throw the ball.
So it'll be a 3rd and 10, South Park at the Elizabeth Forward 45-yard line. Eagles going from left to right. Ball in the near hash mark. Pistol formation, 2 receivers left, 1 right. There's also a wing back off to the left side. An Eagle offense, 5 across the defensive front, 7 in the box for EF. Play action fake by Smith. Smith throws, complete to Turner, inside the 30. Brought down at the 27-yard line. Pickup of 18, 1st and 10, and the flag goes well after the play. Now, I don't know if Turner hot dogged it a little bit or what, but well after the play, a flag was thrown.
Yeah, I didn't see exactly what happened. I do know that I mentioned that dig route a couple plays ago. They just ran it again, and it was wide open for a 2nd time. So we'll see what the call is here. Dead ball, personal foul against South Park.
Jess Levo said he threw a little bit of an elbow at one of the Elizabeth Forward defensive players. So that nullifies, I mean, the pass completion will count, but you still got to back up the 15 yards.
Right, since it was dead ball.
15-yard penalty.
So put the ball instead of at the 27 at the 42 of Elizabeth Forward.
Yeah, and it'll be 1st down. I was going to say they had the sticks wrong there.
1st down for South Park.
It is a 1st down for South Park, but still it's 15 yards behind where the Eagles would have been.
Ball at the 42.
Staying with the pistol formation. Another nice pass there from Smith.
Yeah, he has been very impressive throwing the ball tonight.
Press coverage on the outside receivers for Elizabeth Forward. Option left. Smith's going to keep the football. Bounces it outside. Gets to about the line of scrimmage, and that's it. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, good defense by Elizabeth. The original man who was supposed to take the quarterback couldn't bring him down, but he did slow him up enough and allow the cavalry to show up and drop him for no gain.
2nd and 10, South Park Eagles at the Elizabeth Forward 42, 9:25 and turning to play in quarter number 3. It's Elizabeth Forward 14, South Park 12. Pistol formation again for the Eagles as it's been most of the evening. Twins near side, ball on the far hash mark. Smith passes, complete inside the 35 to the 34. Goes Schnepp, his 2nd catch of the night. They're going to put it at the 33. Gain of 9, 3rd and 1.
Yeah, nice concept that time. Faked the ball to the fullback or to the running back, and then just threw a quick slant to Schnepp. But nice defensive stop by EF, or he would have had the 1st down. I think that was Martek hit him and stopped him from moving forward for the 1st down.
So he hasn't let this homecoming king thing go to his head.
So far,
Still
no.
Still out there playing football. Under center this time on the 3rd and 1, Damon Smith. And I think he might have got Elizabeth Ford to jump offside.
I think you are correct.
Smith went with the quick count, maybe changing the cadence a little bit. And it is offside against Elizabeth Forward. So it'll be 1st and 10 for South Park. Haven't been a lot of penalties tonight.
No, there haven't.
Put the ball at the 27.
For the most part, it's been a fairly well-played game by both teams.
The only turnover was the interception in the end zone. 1st and 10, South Park at the Elizabeth Forward 27-yard line. Smith, play action fake, rolling right, getting some pressure, stops, throws, has a man incomplete. Turner was open, but the ball bounced just in front of him.
Yeah, he had to stop and throw back to his left after he stopped, and he just undershot the throw, hit the ground right in front of Turner. Turner wide open coming across the field.
Turner slid trying to make the catch, couldn't pull it in. 6 of 12 for 93 yards for Damon Smith.
That's a tough throw to make when you're rolling out to your right and you have to stop, set your feet, and throw back to your left.
2nd and 10. South Park is at the 27 of Elizabeth Forward. Schnepp is a wingback off to the left side. Turner wide that way, picked up in press coverage. Smith looking left. Pass complete to Schnepp. Schnepp is going to be brought down at the 22-yard line, maybe the 23, gain of 4, 3rd and 6.
Chase Bodzer on the stop for EF, made a nice open field tackle on the play. I would think we're in 4-down territory down here, Paul.
I would think. 3rd and about 5.5. Ball just shy of the 22 of Elizabeth Ford. Nice drive to start the first and second
Very
half.
Very nice. A time-consuming drive down to 7:33 already.
Smith gives the ball to Mack off the left side. Mack's got the first down, a little bit more. Sticks are at the 17. Looks like he's going to be marked right around there, maybe in front of it by a yard. 1st and 10, South Park.
And nothing fancy that time, just a inside zone handoff to Mack, and he just tucked in behind the lineman, able to squiggle his way in there for a first down.
7:22 and turning to play in the 3rd quarter. Elizabeth Ford 14, South Park 12. But South Park on the move. 1st and 10 at the 17 of Elizabeth Ford. Isaiah Mack, cut back move, not much there. The 16, that's about it. 2nd and 9. 19 for 89 for Mack.
Coming up on 5 minutes already into that drive. Start the second half here. EF's offense hasn't even seen the field yet.
2nd and 9, South Park at the Elizabeth Forward 16-yard line. There's that variation of the huddle used by the South Park Eagles. Pistol formation, 2 receivers right, 1 left. Man in motion from slot right to slot left. Fake to him and a penalty marker down.
I think we had somebody jump a little too soon. They're showing illegal procedure against South Park.
Which would back the Eagles up 5. That indeed is the call. So it'll be 2nd and 14. South Park at the 21 of Elizabeth Forward. And a drive like this just really gives you a lot of confidence. And again, keeping that potent Elizabeth Ford offense off the field, as you mentioned.
Sometimes your best defense is a good offense if you don't let the other team have the ball.
Damon Smith with Isaiah Mack behind him. Fakes it to Mack. Fades back. Getting some pressure. Starts right, now rolls left. Looks to throw. Does throw. Complete! Inside the 15 on the far sideline to the 11 for a pickup of 10. Houdini-like work from Damon Smith. And Seth Jones making the catch.
Great coverage by the secondary of Elizabeth Forward, but then Jones able to wiggle free in the scramble drill, and Smith, with his escapability, adds an extra dimension to that South Park offense.
3rd and 4. South Park now at the Elizabeth Forward 11. Isaiah Mack again behind Smith. Gets the ball from Smith. Huge hole. He's going to gallop into the end zone for the South Park touchdown.
And almost 6 minutes, 5 minutes and 51 56 seconds on that drive.
Excellent drive by the South Park Eagles. Now here has been the bugaboo for the Eagles. Extra points. Missed 4 kicked extra point attempts last week. 0 for 1 trying to kick it tonight. 0 for 1 trying to go for 2.
What did we say that run was?
That was 11. That was
11 yards.
For Isaiah Mack, which takes him over 100 yards. No, puts him right at 100 by my count. 20 carries, 100 yards. Eagles will go for 2. Spread formation, empty backfield. Damon Smith awaits the shotgun snap. And we're going to get a timeout taken. Officials timeout. They're saying start the play clock. Start the 25-second clock again. Making the motion, pumping it up, which means buck the clock. Start it over again. There it is. Play clock starts again. Empty backfield. Ball on the far hash mark. Isaiah Mack in motion toward the line of scrimmage. Ball goes to Damon Smith. Mack's a protector. Smith throws for the end zone for Schnepp. Too far. No good. So a 6:04 to play in the third quarter. The score, South Park 18, Elizabeth Ford 14. You're listening to and watching WPIAL Football 2017 on the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
There's a new fear, not of better options, of rising loan rates. It's real. Rates have gone up, and Dollar Bank still has one of the lowest around. With a rate as low as 3.29% APR with only $50,000 borrowed, fixed for 7 years, there's nothing to fear. You can renovate the kitchen or update a bathroom or 2. So lock in your rate now before they, well, I don't want to say it out loud. If choosing the better option is your worry, you can be confident that Dollar Bank's loan experts have only your best interests in mind, since they're not paid a commission. So lock in your rate before they go up again. Get those home improvements done with a rate as low as 3.29% APR, fixed for 7 years. Longer terms are available. Stop by, call 1-800-242-BANK, or visit dollar.bank. Dollar Bank, mutually inspired. Rate is for well-qualified borrowers and includes a discount with a maintained qualifying checking account. Not available for the refinance of a Dollar Bank loan, line, or mortgage of less than $15,000 in new money. Monthly payment of $13.34 per $1,000 borrowed. Other terms and conditions apply. Subject to change without notice. Equal housing lender.
Coming up after the game, it's the WPIAL Football Scoreboard Show with Dawn Rebel from the Trib Total Media Control Center with all the scores and recaps from Week 8. Don't miss the WPIAL Football Scoreboard Show after the game, only here on the new TribLive High School Sports Network. Paul Paterra, Lou Rood, Jess Levo. Class 3A Interstate Conference Contest here at Elizabeth Ford High School. South Park leading 18-14. Putting together a 5-minute, 56-second drive. Now there was a penalty against South Park after the personal foul against the Eagles. So the Eagles are going to have to kick off from the 25 after that missed 2-point conversion attempt. So that'll help Elizabeth Ford. The Warriors will get a bit better field position with South Park kicking off from the 25. Ippolito to kick off. Bardick and Stanley deep for the Elizabeth Forward Warriors. See if Mike Colodey's ball club has an answer to that excellent drive put together by the South Park Eagles. Now the ball falls off the tee. No. Another penalty on South Park? Okay.
Oh my.
Another penalty on South Park. So South Park's going to kick off from the 10.
Wow.
So they must have done something nasty after I did not notice what took place.
I didn't see any flags. Of course, I was.
You were tweeting.
I was tweeting and writing and
stuff down. But South Park is kicking off from its own 12. Now the Eagles have already kicked off from the Elizabeth Forward 30. Now they're kicking off from their own 12. And Coach Marty Rick's got his hands on his hips on the sidelines like, what's going on here? Let the young man kick the football. So Ippolito will tee it off from the 13, maybe the 12 and a half. So Elizabeth Ford's going to get good field position, you would think, after this kickoff.
Ippolito will kick off.
And Ippolito, kickoff goes out of bounds at the 37 of South Park. So Elizabeth Ford's going to get magnificent field position to start its first possession of the second half. There's 6:04 to play in the third quarter. It's 18-14 South Park, but Elizabeth forward with great field position. It's going to be marked at the South Park 35. So whatever took place after that 2-point conversion try,
it was not good.
It was a no-no.
Not good for South Park, and if you're EF, you're going, thank you. Thank you very much.
Christmas come a little bit early there. Sorry we did not notice what was going on. So we're taking care of some other business. Now referee Denny Laria's, there's the illegal procedure penalty for the kick out of bounds against South Park. It's declined, so that means Elizabeth Ford gets the ball where it went out of bounds, which was at the South Park 35. Okay, you're all set now. First on, Elizabeth Forward Warriors at the 35 of South Park. Warriors going from right to left. They'll start the possession with the ball on the far hash mark. Quarterback for the Warriors, Zach Benedek, 6 foot, 185-pound junior. Benedek now in the huddle with the rest of his Elizabeth Forward Warrior offensive teammates. Mardick wide right, Devine wide left. Shotgun formation. Andrus to the left of Benedek in the backfield. South Park four-man defensive front. Faked Andrus. Benedek keeps it. Benedek's inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line for a gain of 7. Nice pickup on first down, 2nd and 3. Benedek not afraid to run the football. As we told you, Starr had the lead role in the spring play Anything Goes here at Elizabeth Ford High School. 4-0 in the classroom. His teammate Gavin Mardick carried, I believe, a 4.5 GPA into this year. No slouches in the classroom, those two. 2nd and 3. EF at the 28 of South Park. Benedek looking to pass, getting some pressure. Rolls right, throws for the end zone. Incomplete.
He could have just tucked it and kept running.
Yeah, he had some room.
He had
Threw
a lot
it for
of
Devine. So that'll make it a 3rd and 3, but 4 down country for the Warriors. Benedek in the first half was 5 of 10, 109 yards. So it'll be a 3rd and 3. Elizabeth Ford at the South Park 28-yard line. Actually, it's more like 3.5. That ball's resting between the 28 and 29-yard line. Devine wide left, Mardick wide right. 2 tight ends for the Warriors. South Park showing blitz. Give to Andrus, and that blitz works. They drop Andrus for a loss back to the 31-yard line.
Nowhere to run. They blew that play up in a hurry. You got to figure this is four down territory. They want to go for it here.
A little bit longer to go now. It's 4th and 5.5 for the Warriors. Ball just shy of the South Park 30-yard line. Benedek looking over to the sidelines. Mike Collodi and the EF coaching staff signaling in a play. Play clock at 15, still plenty of time. Now they may have to hustle a little bit because Benedek's still over in the sidelines, and the play clock all of a sudden is down to 5. I think EF's going to take a timeout. Yeah, and the Warriors do with 4:35 to play in the 3rd quarter. South Park 18, Elizabeth Ford 14. You are listening to and watching WPIAL Football 2017 on the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
The new TribLive High School Sports Network is the place to go every day this fall.
On Mondays, we have the latest top 10 football rankings.
Also on Monday, we check in on the former district stars now making the grade in college with WPIAL alum Q&A.
Tuesday is a look back at the biggest and best plays from the previous Scholastic football weekend with the plays of the week.
We go big game hunting on Wednesday with a preview of the top WPIAL football contests.
I'll look into my crystal ball on Thursday with the wildly popular Chicks Picks.
A complete rundown of all the games comes your way on Friday, plus plenty of broadcasts to choose from on Friday nights.
On Saturday, we'll take a look at the top performances with Friday night highlights. Then on Sunday, a look back at the previous day's high school standouts with Saturday's Scholastic Stars.
This fall, the place to go for all of your high school sports coverage every day of the week is the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
Paul Paterra, Lou Rood, Jess Levo at Elizabeth Forward High School. 4:35 to play in the 3rd quarter. South Park 18, Elizabeth Forward 14. 4th and about 5.5. Elizabeth Forward just shy of the South Park 30. Benedek in the shotgun. Andrus to his right, trips near side. They're wide left. South Park showing blitz. Here it comes. Benedek rolling right. Gets a block. It's going to be knocked out of bounds short of the first down. And the ball goes over on downs to the South Park Eagles. Benedek tried to lunge forward but could not get to the sticks. And there's a South Park player down on the far side of the field.
And I tell you what, that absolutely hurts to have that kind of field position and come away with a turnover on downs. And it's still not only a turnover on downs, but it's a turnover on downs out near the 30-yard line. They could do absolutely nothing with that. It was a gift. You know, they had the 2 penalties, did South Park, then kicked it out of bounds, and EF unable to make anything happen. And unfortunately, a South Park player hurt right now.
It's
down
on the
field.
far side of the field, but he's up now. Once he gets closer to us, that's number 14. That is Rudy Mahokas, who already has a 91-yard kickoff return for a touchdown.
The way he's acting, I think he got a stinger there, Paul.
I guess those son of a guns hurt.
They do.
Never having a stinger.
Speaking from personal experience, they do.
You don't get much of them in the press box or in the newspaper biz.
Yeah, well, down in the trenches where I was, you know, they were a fact of life. You got them all the time. Stingers, you see stars after you hit somebody all the time.
1st and 10, South Park at its 29. Eagles going from left to right. Twins left, receiver right, pistol formation as usual. Give the ball to Mack off the left side. Not much there. A yard, maybe 2. Looks like they're going to give him 2 to the 31. But Mack has been a workhorse here tonight for the South Park Eagles.
Well, he and Mahokas both have done well running the football tonight. The key to South Park's attack this evening has been the running game.
2nd and 8. Second about 8.5. Ball just shy of the 31 of South Park. Same formation. 2 receivers left, 1 right. EF5 across the defensive front. Give the ball to Mack.
Oh.
Boom! He got absolutely drilled for a loss of 1. Coming up, A.J. Ackerman drilling him. The 6'5", 275-pound junior said, "Hi, I'm A.J. Ackerman. Nice to meet you."
And we have a flag down on the play.
That was a solid hit. And what's the penalty? Holding against South Park on top of everything. I wouldn't be surprised if this penalty's declined.
I don't know. You might want to move them back. They're going to decline it.
Penalty refused. Loss of 2 on the play. So it'll be 3rd and 10.
That was an emphatic stop there.
And that's one of those plays.
Jess Levo's nodding her head. Yes, that was an emphatic
where
stop.
you can hear through the entire crowd, ooh. 3rd and 10. South Park at its 29. Smith back to pass. Here comes the pressure. He's in trouble. He's going to tuck it and go. He's got the first down and more. Smith at the 40, near side, 45, inside Elizabeth Ford territory to the 43-yard line. A pickup of 28, 1st and 10. What a play. Damon Smith has been an absolute star for South Park.
He has done an outstanding job. He's thrown the ball exceptionally well and accurately tonight. His escapability running when he's had to scramble has opened up some more avenues for South Park. Tied that along with the running game, and they've done an excellent job offensively.
Mahokas now in the backfield with Smith. He gets the football off the right side. Gets 2 to the 41. 2:54 and turning to play in the 3rd quarter. South Park 18, Elizabeth Ford 14. Eagles on the move again.
They are. And they, the one thing they have been able to do tonight is control the football, drive it, and keep it away from EF's offense.
2nd and 8, South Park at the 41 of Elizabeth Ford. Their huddle, as we would, skill players huddle, linemen, they go to position. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Seth Jones is the wide man to the near side. Mack back in the backfield. Now he's going to empty out of the backfield, go wide left. Smith rolls that way. He's going to tuck it, keep it, gets to the 42. Loss of a yard on the play. It'll be 3rd and 9.
Imperative now for EF to come up with a stop. They need to get the ball back. the way South Park's been able to control the football. They've had the ball almost the entire third quarter.
EF has run 4 plays.
Exactly.
Other than that, it's been South Park's football. 3rd and 9, Eagles at the 42 of Elizabeth Forward. Eagles going from left to right. Jones is the wide man to the near side of the field. Haven't seen Turner out there in a while. Pistol formation. Now Mack's going to empty out of the backfield, go right. Pass to him. He makes the catch. Gets to the 45, and that's it. Going to be wrapped up. Did get to the 44, but Robert Bukina came up to make the stop. So to be 4th and about 11 for the South Park Eagles. So there was the defensive play that Elizabeth Forward needed.
It's exactly what they needed right there.
I think I'll call that a running play. That was a backward pass.
It was. It looked like a lateral.
And that takes Mack back under 100 yards.
I'm sure he'll get back over it before the evening is done.
Kamunk to punt for South Park. And he hits it. Martik backpedals, takes it at the 13. Running right, gets a block. He's up to the 20, 25. Going to be brought down at about the 26-yard line. 45 seconds to play in the third quarter. It's South Park 18, Elizabeth Forward 14. But the Warriors 1st and 10 at their 26-yard line.
Now, key for Elizabeth, they have to get something going on offense. 45 seconds left here in the third quarter. They've still got the whole fourth quarter, but the thing they have to worry about is how well South Park has been able to possess the ball and keep it away from them. So it starts to get, I don't want to say desperation time, but you start to worry. How many more possessions are you going to have?
Benedek under center, backs in the eye. South Park 5 across the front. To give to the tailback, Brian Malloy, a yard or 2. Give him 2 to the 28, 2nd and 8. And they bottled up Malloy pretty much tonight. That's 44 yards tonight for Brian Malloy.
And Paul, you mentioned Turner, and I can see him down on the sideline right in front of us, down on one knee. Looks like his teammates are consoling him, and maybe a trainer's keeping an eye on him. I'm wondering if he got hurt.
We've got an Elizabeth Forward player down.
2 of them, isn't it? Or is that, no, that's just someone standing over it.
It's a medical member of the medical personnel. And I didn't catch the number. I think, I'm not going to speculate, but there is a player down for Elizabeth Forward. 23 seconds to play in the third quarter. 18-14 is your score. South Park leading Elizabeth Forward. Class 3A Interstate Conference. Elizabeth Forward leads the conference at a 6-0 record. Derry and South Park 4-1, and you said Derry was winning last
They
check.
were winning the last I checked. Winning handily, in fact. See if I can effort a score here.
Looks like Nathaniel Cole, I believe, is at 76. 76. Nathaniel Cole was the injured Warrior. Helped off the field. So it'll be 2nd and 8 for Elizabeth Forward at its 28. Time for maybe one more play in the quarter if the Warriors choose to run one. They don't have to, but it looks like they will. Warriors going from right to left. Benedek looks over to the sidelines. Split backfield this time. Malloy and Andrus behind him. Benedek throws a pass, complete far side to Devine, and Devine's got the first down up to the 39-yard line, pickup of 11, and that's the end of the third quarter. The score, South Park 18, Elizabeth Forward 14. You're listening to and watching WPIAL Football 2017 on the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
Who showed you how to get to Sesame Street and took you to visit Mr. Rogers' neighborhood? WQED. And now, WQED and PBS Learning Media can help you travel through space, get an up-close look into Vietnam, and be in the front row of a Broadway show. In collaboration with local school districts, community organizations, and local libraries, WQED continues to create experiences that remake learning for students, teachers, and lifelong learners. For more info, visit WQED.org and begin your adventure.
Quarter number 4 at Elizabeth Forward High School. Lou Rood's here, Jess Levo's here. I'm Paul Paterra. Class 3A Interstate Conference. 18-14 is the score. South Park leads Elizabeth Forward. Elizabeth Forward will start the fourth quarter. 1st and 10 at its 39-yard line and go from left to right. Zach Benedict now 6 of 12, 120 yards, passing on the evening. A couple of coaches in their third year at their respective schools opposing each other tonight as the grid bosses. Benedict under center over the football, Rocky Bodzer. Split backfield. Benedict, long count this time, gives the ball to Malloy, stacked up after a pickup of about 3 to the 42, 2nd and 7. Brian Malloy, 5'11", 218-pound senior.
I did find another interstate score. York leading Southmoreland 28-17. Still trying to find Derry to see where they are.
Ball at the 42, 2nd and 7 for the EF Warriors. Bodzer is going to be the wide man off to the left side. Martic in the slot. Split backfield. Tight end off to the left side, the right side for the Warriors. Give to Malloy off the right side. Malloy going to get about close to the sticks. Looks like they'll give him, looks like he's going to be marked a little bit shy. A defender had a hold of his jersey. If Malloy could have got away from that, he had big yardage. Looks like he's going to be just shy of the first down.
I disagree with the spot on that, but I did find the Derry score there, up 47-0 over Waynesburg, so I guess that's pretty handily there.
And that would put Derry at 5-1 in the conference.
They're only lost to EF.
And Derry is a big South Park fan right now.
Yes, they are.
Third and very short for the Warriors. One back set, wing back off to the left side. Quarterback sneak Benedict, he's got the first down. Gets inside South Park territory to the 48-yard line, gain of 3, 1st and 10. And you can hear the enthusiastic first down call of public address announcer Randy Cosgrove here at Elizabeth Forward High School.
Yeah, if South Park holds on, then it would be a three-way tie in first place right now between Derry, South Park, and EF.
Elizabeth Forward is done with conference play after tonight. The Warriors host Burgettstown next week in non-conference football.
They'd be a half game back.
They'd be a half game back.
Yeah, because EF is now, this is their last conference game.
Benedict pumps, looks left, in trouble, going to be sacked back at the 44-yard line of Elizabeth Forward.
Isaiah
coming
Mack.
to get the sack. Isaiah Mack. A sack for Mack.
Been calling his name on both sides of the ball now tonight.
Loss of 8 on the play. That's a big defensive play.
Indeed it is.
So it'll be 2nd and 18. Elizabeth Forward at its 44.
Takes you back over the midfield stripe. Time's running out, Paul. I mean,
yeah, we got 9.5 to play.
We do, but what you have to worry about is if you give the ball back to South Park, chances are you might not see it again the way they've controlled the football in this game.
High backfield for the Warriors. Benedict under center. Play action fake. Rolling left. Getting some pressure. He's going to keep the football. Try to get some yardage. Ducks under Mahokas. Gets inside South Park territory with a hard-fought run all the way down to the 42-yard line. Got 14 at the 18 yards he needed. Give him 15 to the 41. That's a nice run by Benedict.
That was a very nice run, and he was patient. He let a couple of his linemen get out in front of him when they realized he was scrambling. And they were able to get some blocks for him. So a very manageable 3rd down and about 4.
The sticks are at the 38. The ball was just shy of the Elizabeth Forward the South Park 41. Benedict under center, backs in the eye. Malloy's the tailback, Andrus the fullback. Martic in motion from left to right. Quarterback keeper, Benedict, first down. The ball popped up in the air but landed back in his hands, but I think he'd have been ruled down.
Yeah, I think he was down. I think he got the first down too.
Yep, put the ball at the sticks are at the 38. And
they moved the chains.
Gentlemen, move the sticks. We got a fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 EF.
So that was a great recovery for the Warriors. They were looking at 2nd and 18, and then that scramble by Benedict just put him right back in business. Then he did it himself on the quarterback keep.
8-12 and turning to play in the 4th quarter. South Park 18, Elizabeth Forward 14, but Elizabeth Forward now on the move. A one-back set with a wing back off to the right. Zach Benedict under center. two receivers off to the right side as well. Sweep that way. Malloy takes the pitch. Malloy makes a cutback, gets to the 35. Gain of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Just tried to run the old toss sweep to the right. Malloy saw a seam, cut it up. I think if he'd have stayed to the outside, he'd have had better running room, but he got positive yardage on the play.
2nd and 7. Elizabeth Ford at the South Park 35-yard line. South Park stays in conference play next week on the road to York to play the Cougars. Split backfield this time for the Warriors. Two receivers right. Zach Benedek pitches the ball. Coming left on the sweep. In some trouble. Going to be dropped for a loss back to the 40-yard line was Garrett Stanley. They're going to mark it at the 39. Nonetheless, a loss of 4, 3rd and 11.
And tough play that time. Great defensive work by South Park.
Again, another big 3rd down for the Elizabeth Ford Warriors because you said, Lou, it's getting down
It's getting down there. I mean, and the thing is, I don't know how you feel about this, Paul, but it just seems to me like EF has been out of sync all night with their offense. You know, it's like they're searching to try and find something they can hang their hat on, and they haven't been able to find anything. Things that maybe have worked for them all season, they're having trouble with tonight.
3rd and 11, Elizabeth Ford at the South Park 39. The Eagles blitz, flag down. Benedict throws, almost intercepted. Behind the intended receiver, Nathan Alberts, then almost picked off. But there is a penalty marker down.
And they're going to get EF for illegal procedure. They had Marduk in motion before the other man was set, and that's exactly what it is, double shift.
Was that, so will the play count or?
If the play counts, yeah, they can accept it or decline it.
And I would think you decline it.
Make it 4th down and 11, yeah.
That's the options being discussed with Marty Rick, the South Park head coach. Illegal shift, decline, so it's 4th and 11. Elizabeth forward, the ball at the South Park 39. Now, do you punt if you're EF or do you go for it?
You got to go for it.
Got to go for it. Zach Benedek has shown the ability to make big plays with his legs. 4th and 11, 6:21 to play in the 4th quarter. Ball at the South Park 39. I got a feeling the Eagles are going to come with a blitz here.
Yeah.
Benedek in the shotgun. Andrus to his right. Trips near side.
Actually,
timeout. South Park.
They're going to take timeout and talk about it.
So we told you the time. 6:21 to play in the 4th quarter. It's 18-14 South Park. You're listening to and watching WPIAL Football 2017 on the TribLive High School Sports Network.
Coverage of the 2017 WPIAL Girls Volleyball and Boys and Girls Soccer Playoffs is only here on the new TribLive High School Sports Network. Follow all the action from the preliminary round to audio and video coverage of the district soccer and volleyball championship matches. Your exclusive home for all the WPIAL soccer and volleyball playoffs this fall is here on the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
For several years, Progress has been recognizing the efforts of high school athletes in Western Pennsylvania. Now the Progress and AstroTurf have united under the AstroTurf name. The team at the new TribLive High School Sports Network is pleased to say that AstroTurf has joined our high school sports sponsorship family. AstroTurf is one of the most iconic brands in sports. We are thrilled to have them on board. Paul Paterra, Lou Rood, Jess Leva at Elizabeth Ford High School. 6:21 to play in the 4th quarter of this Class 3A Interstate Conference game. Elizabeth Ford 4th and 11 at the South Park 39. Benedek in the shotgun, and I believe we're going to get an offside call against South Park.
They make it 4th and 6
Makes
now.
it 4th and 6. DeMont Jones jumping on the near side here.
Not only that, they tipped off the blitz they were coming with as well. So it gives EF a chance to either change up their blocking scheme or change their play up.
4th and 6 now at the South Park 34. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Big play here in this football game for the Elizabeth Ford Warriors. I wouldn't be opposed to having Benedek on a scramble again. He's got some quick feet. Play clock, still plenty of time. They break the huddle at 16. Benedek with Andrus to his right. Trips near side on the 4th and 6. South Park show. Now Elizabeth Ford is going to give the 5 yards back.
Yes, they are.
Illegal procedure on the Warriors. So it's going to be 4th and 11. You think you got some anxious kids out there right now?
A little bit. Pressure, the nerves, the excitement. I mean, for EF, this is a chance for them to win their first conference title outright in 32 years. And, yeah, that brings a little bit of pressure in itself. And that could explain why they've been just a little bit out of sync all night long.
4th and 11. Elizabeth Ford now at the South Park 39 after the exchange of penalties.
Watch for this outside backer to come on a blitz. There he
Benedict,
comes.
quick count. It's picked up. Throws deep pass. Batted away. Damon Smith, the quarterback, batted the ball away. It was intended for Mardick, and the ball goes over on downs again to South Park. What a play by Smith.
It was. He read it beautifully, came across, flashed in front of Mardick, and knocked the ball down. If he doesn't do it, you know, Mardick not only has the first down, if he can keep his feet, he's going to be in the end zone. But Smith, again, how many times have we called his name tonight for just making outstanding plays, either with his arm, with his feet, or in this case, with his head. He read the play beautifully.
So be 1st and 10 South Park. Eagles with the ball at their 39, going from right to left. The Eagles know what their job is here. Take time off the clock.
Run clock.
Damon Smith, the quarterback, Isaiah Mack behind him in the pistol. We got twins near side, a receiver wide to the far side. Give them Mack. Mack gets to the 40-yard line. That's about it. It'll be 2nd and 9. And Elizabeth Ford's going to be selling out on the run on defense.
I would think. But the danger there is if you sell out on the run, a nice little fake by the quarterback and a quarterback keep off of one of these runs, and you got problems, especially the way Smith runs the ball. Now what's going on?
Officials timeout.
Injured player for South Park.
I believe that's Turner. Is that 18?
No, that's Mack, isn't it?
No, that's Mack. Yes, it is. That's 12, not 18. Isaiah Mack now limping off the field. So Mahokis going to replace him. Mahokis has done some good things in the backfield too, especially on special teams. 91-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Smith turns, gives Mahokis the ball. Mahokis gets over the 40 to the 43. That'll make it 3rd and 6 for South Park. Another one of the many big third down plays in this game coming up.
Yep. I would, right here, I would want to put the ball in Smith's hand, get a run pass option for him, get him out on the edge. Let him roll out.
He's got the play, 15 seconds on the play clock, 5:13 on the turning game clock to play in the 4th quarter. Pistol formation again for the Eagles. Fake the reverse. Smith rolling right, throws, has Mahokis. Mahokis has the first down inside Elizabeth Ford territory. Goes out of bounds at the 46 on the far sideline. 1st and 10 South Park, just what you asked for.
They faked the jet sweep, faked the ball to Mahokis, and he went through and faked a block and then went right out into the flats area. Smith did a little bootleg action, rolled out, and there was no one covering Mahokis. A well-designed play. Worked perfectly for the South Park Eagles.
1st and 10 South Park at the 46 of Elizabeth Forward now. A chance to run more time off the clock for the Eagles. Smith sends a man in motion. Gives the ball to Mahokis. Mahokis eludes a defender in the backfield and gets 2 to the 44 of Elizabeth Ford. I like this Mahokis.
He's solid. He might not have the flash that Mack does, but he's a solid runner. And we saw he had speed on that kick return.
An Elizabeth Ford Warrior player on his knees. I got to get used to having a camera right next to me so I can check who these players are. I'm always trying to speculate. Still can't tell.
We could just volunteer to be with Jess every week. I mean.
Would we do that to that poor kid? I still can't make out the number of the injured player. He's on his knees.
Looks like he's ready to work his way up. Is that 58?
I think it's 68. A.J.
68,
Ackerman.
yep. I saw an 8, but I didn't want to speculate.
So he's going over to the sidelines. There's 4:45 to play in the 4th quarter. South Park 18, Elizabeth Ford 14. South Park has its 2nd and 8 at the Elizabeth Forward 44. As we mentioned, each team with 2 timeouts remaining. EF has got to get the ball back.
They've got to get a stop here and get a stop quickly if they want to have any kind of time to work with here at the end of the game.
Referee Denny Laria saying put the play clock back at 25. Winds his arm to get the game clock rolling. 2nd and 8. South Park at the 44 of Elizabeth forward. And now we've got a penalty marker down. Pre-snap penalty. I don't know what happened, but this flag was thrown on the near sideline.
On EF.
Offside against Elizabeth forward. I don't know if when Chase Bodzer came up in press coverage, if he came across into the neutral zone. But that's 5 free yards for South Park and makes it 2nd and 3rd for the Eagles at the Elizabeth forward 39.
2nd and 3.
Smith looks back, takes a look at the play clock. Going to take his time, let more time chew off the clock here. Smith gives the ball to, no, fakes the ball, keeps it, he's got room. Smith down to the 30-yard line. Pick up on the play of 9, 1st and 10, South Park.
It was just a matter of time, Paul, before he pulled it and kept it because he'd been given a steady diet, handoff, 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 and eventually Elizabeth forgot about him, and he made him pay, and the Warriors are in a little bit of a pickle here right now.
1st and 10, South Park at the Elizabeth forward 29. Clock winding down to 4 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. South Park leads 18-14. Smith in the pistol with Mahokas behind him. Gives the ball to Mahokas this time. Mahokas breaks a tackle. So hard to bring down. Gets to the 26, a gain of 3. I don't think he ever went down.
No, he didn't. Stopped his forward progress, but he never got him on the ground. And again, the clock just keeps ticking away here.
Rudy Mahokas, it says here 5'10", 182-pound sophomore. He looks bigger than that to me. 2nd and 7. Ball at the 26 of Elizabeth Ford. Warriors with 5 across the front, 8 in the box. Selling out for the run. Smith taking his time. Mahokas again off the left side, pops through the hole, gets to the 22. Still a couple of yards shy of the 1st down. It's going to be 3rd and about 2. And the clock is going to be under 3 minutes when they snap the ball.
Yes, it is. And Mack now back in the ball game for South Park.
Mahokas getting some pats on the back on the sidelines. Rudy Mahokas, the sophomore, has done some good things for the Eagles tonight. 3rd and about 2.5. They're going to put it at the 22. So 3rd and 3 for South Park at the Elizabeth Ford 22-yard line. EF showing that run blitz, 8 in the box. Smith fakes the ball to Mack, keeps it, runs wide, tries to spin away from the defender, can't. Gets a yard to the 21, but it's going to be 4th and 2. And EF may want to think about taking one of those timeouts. Not yet.
Nice play defensively that time by Evan Lewis. Came up and made a difficult tackle in the open field on Smith.
4th and 2. South Park at the 21 of Elizabeth Ford. 2:05 and turning to play in the 4th quarter. 18-14 South Park. A huge play. And Damon Smith's going to just take it. South Park may let this play clock run down and take a timeout.
Not a bad idea. In fact, I think that's what they're going to do.
Not even out of the huddle. So the Eagles will take a timeout with 1:47 to play in the 4th quarter. Do we need a break here or are we good?
Actually, we could use one.
All right, 18-14 is the score. The minute 7:47 to play in the 4th quarter. You're listening to and watching WPIAL Football 2017 on the TribLive High School Sports Network.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlo. Tell us your story using #WhatDriveYou. Carlo University, a proud sponsor of the MSA Sports Network.
Alongside, well, in between Lou Rood and Jess Levo, Paul Paterra at Elizabeth Forward High School, Class 3A Interstate Conference. 1:47 to play in the 4th quarter. South Park 18, Elizabeth Forward 14. South Park has it 4th and 2 at the Elizabeth Forward 21. Mahokis and Mack in the backfield. Double tight end look with a wing back. Smith under center. Warriors, all 11 defenders are on the line of scrimmage. Smith. Play action fake, throws me in wide open, makes the catch. No, he didn't. He dropped the football. He dropped the football. Holy smoke, that was a touchdown. And the ball goes over on downs to Elizabeth Ford. What a play call. And it just wasn't executed.
Gutsy play call. Gutsy, gutsy, gutsy. Beautiful. They faked it. The tight end snuck out all alone. Caught the ball. It looked like as he turned to run towards the end zone, it popped out of his hands. And EF's got life with a minute 41.
I think that was Seth Jones. EF staying alive. A minute 41 to play in the fourth quarter. 1st and 10 Warriors at their 21. Warriors with 2 timeouts remaining. Benedek in the shotgun. Andrus to his left. Mardick in motion. Gets the ball in the jet sweep. He's looking to pass. Not going to be able to. Runs wide. Gets out of bounds. A gain of 5 to the 26. It'll be 2nd and 5 with a minute 35 to play. Smart by Mardick to get out of bounds.
Yeah, Mardick was looking to throw downfield. Nathan Alberts tried to continue on. And I think you would call that the jet sweep pass. Now's the time you're going to look for some trickeration here, one way or another. And
South Park just about to put the game away. And the pass is dropped. 2nd and 5. EF at its 26. South Park showing blitz. Here it comes. Benedict steps up in the pocket, looking to throw. Does throw. Pass complete to receiver tiptoeing the sidelines. That's Devine. And he gets out of bounds at the 35. Pick up a 9, 1st and 10.
Flag on the play.
Flag on the play. So hold everything.
See what the call is here.
Illegal man downfield against the Warriors. Again, clock stops with a minute 27 to play in the fourth quarter. And you're seeing players on both teams going to knees here. These two teams are leaving it all on the field.
Yes, they are. And, yeah, when you get to the smaller classifications, too, you've got a lot of kids going both ways and expending a lot of energy in this game. Very hard-fought game, well played by both teams, but hard-fought. And not for the faint of heart, Paul. Not for the faint of heart at all.
Put the ball back at the 21 of Elizabeth Ford. A minute 27 to play in the fourth quarter. Warriors trailing by 4. 2 timeouts remaining. The Warriors win. They're conference champs. South Park 5 across the defensive front, but they are showing an all-out blitz. Eagles rush 5. Benedict in some trouble. He's going to have to throw the football, going to be sacked back at the 7-yard line. Getting the sack for South Park, number 27, Brandon Goldbach. And Elizabeth Ford has to it hasn't taken a timeout yet. Clock all the way down to a minute 7 and turning to play. It is 3rd and a bunch finally.
Now they take timeout.
The Warriors take a timeout with a minute 1 to play in the fourth quarter. They let some precious time go off the clock there.
Yes, they did. And yeah, they're probably trying to figure out what they're going to do next. What play do you have in your playbook for 3rd and 23? 23.
3rd and 23. And it's got to be 4 down country, of course.
Well, it's 4 down no matter what because, yeah, it's the ball game if they turn the ball over and don't get the first down. And this has just been, I mean, they had the first down, called back on an ineligible receiver downfield, then a big sack, and now they're in danger of having the wheels fall off here.
And South Park's going to come with that blitz again.
Oh, they are. They're going to bring heat. But the danger is if you bring the heat, if one of the receivers gets beyond the secondary, you're going all the way.
3rd and 23.
And
Elizabeth Ford at its 8.
You'll be breaking out the catch me if you can.
You'll have to turn the volume down.
I will definitely turn the volume down. I've already set the lady off twice tonight.
EF with 1 timeout remaining. 61 seconds left in the fourth quarter. South Park leading 18-14. Benedict in the shotgun. Andrus to his right. No, Andrus to his left. Trips left side. Benedict steps back. Rolls right. Getting some pressure. Throwing deep. Mardick's out there. Dives for it and can't get it. He had a step on Damon Smith. incomplete. It'll be 4th and 24.
And that's the danger right there, Paul. If he'd have put that ball on the money, Martek takes it the distance, and they score.
Well, here's the game.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword. They're blitzing and sending people. I tell you what, I'd be sitting back in a prevent with my safeties at about the 50-yard line right now. I'm not rushing people. I'm going to let them stand back there all day, and I'm going to cover the receivers.
4th and 23. South Park on defense. Elizabeth Ford at its 8.
Now they got the safeties are backing up now.
4-man rush. Benedict. He's throwing deep. Up for grabs. Juggling. Did he catch it? No.
No.
Devine almost pulled it in. Ball knocked away, and it goes over undowns to the South Park Eagles. And there is jubilation on the near sidelines. The coaching staff saying, guys, get back. Don't go on the field and have too many men on the field.
And now they have the ball at the 8-yard line of
EF's only got one timeout. I'd take a couple knees.
I would take knees and be happy with a 4-point win right now, unless they need the Gardner points.
I can't figure that stuff out.
I can't either.
That's Don Rebel's job.
Yes, I can't either. But
the ball is on the near hash. I'd still take a knee because you don't want anything drastic to happen.
And that's what they're going to do.
They're in the victory formation. EF can take one timeout. Damon Smith in the victory formation. Goes back, takes a knee at the 11. We'll see if EF does take that final timeout. Not yet. But how about these South Park Eagles tonight, Lou? This is a team that a few weeks ago had lost its 3rd straight game, being shut out for the 3rd straight time in a row.
And lost them in not even dramatic fashion.
Got creamed.
Blowouts.
Time for one more snap for the South Park Eagles. Smith takes the snap. Goes to a knee. Hey, folks, the South Park Eagles aren't dead. They're still alive. They're alive and well. The Eagles go to 5-1 in the conference. They're going to be tied with Derry. EF falls to 6-1. The final score, South Park 18, Elizabeth Ford 14. You are listening to and watching WPIAL Football 2017 on the new TribLive High School Sports Network.
TribLive has a little something for everyone. Sports from high school to the pros. News from across the street and around the world. Arts and entertainment. Lifestyles. Opinion. Weather. Photo galleries. Video. You can even find your next job, house, and car. So look alive, Pittsburgh, and get the news you want and information you need all in one place. TribLive.com. TribLive.com. News and more 24/7. TribLive has a little something for everyone.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine. The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
Everyone. TribLive has a little something for everyone. Sports from high school to the pros. News from across the street and around the world. Arts and entertainment. Lifestyles. Opinion. Weather. Photo galleries. Video. You can even find your next job, house, and car. So look alive, Pittsburgh, and get the news you want and information you need all in one place. TribLive.com. TribLive.com. News and more 24/7. TribLive has a little something for everyone. AstroTurf, a pioneer in sports. AstroTurf, a pioneer in sports surfacing, proudly supports high school athletics. Visit one of their 280 fields in the tri-state area to see their cutting-edge technology. AstroTurf's focus on R&D enables them to provide innovative surfaces that protect athletes and stand the test of time. AstroTurf now propels performance with iconic turf fields and legendary Recordtan tracks. They manufacture, build, and maintain a full range of turf and track systems for total quality control. Learn more at astroturf.com. In another season of change, the one thing that remains the same is exclusive coverage of the WPIAL football playoffs only here on the new TribLive High School Sports Network, starting with the playoff pairing show Monday, October 30th. Whether it's the highway to Hines or the road to RMU, it starts with the WPIAL playoff pairing show Monday, October 30th at 7 p.m. only here on the new TribLive High School Sports Network. For the most complete recap of Friday night's high school football action, tune in on your way home from the game to the WPIAL Scoreboard Show, only here on the TribLive High School Sports Network. Hi, this is Don Rebel. Join me in a cast of thousands for all the scores with recaps from the top games, plus we highlight the night on the TribLive Roundtable. That's the WPIAL Scoreboard Show after the game on Friday nights on the TribLive High School Sports Network and at HSSN.triblive.com.
And since he just promoted it, I won't need to. Paul Paterra, Lou Rood, Jess Levo at Elizabeth Forward High School, Class 3A Interstate Conference football. Lou, you remember the old Wide World of Sports show where they talked about the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, and we just witnessed it out on the field. South Park Eagles are just beside themselves, just thrilled to death with this 18-14 victory over Elizabeth Forward, and you see so much sadness on the Elizabeth Forward side of the field. The Warriors had a chance for their first conference championship in 32 years tonight and didn't come up with it. The Warriors have not scored less than 39 points in a game all year. South Park holding them to 14 here tonight with this 18-14 victory, and did it with ball control and excellent opportunistic defense.
They did, Paul. They controlled the ball. They opened the second half trailing 14-12 and ripped off a 5-minute, 56-second drive that really took a lot of the wind out of Elizabeth Forward. EF only had the ball 4 plays in the third quarter. It was all South Park in the third quarter. They took control of the game after halftime, and they never let go. And they, even when EF had the ball, they had one excellent chance after the kickoff that went out of bounds after 2 penalties that had EF with the ball inside the 40-yard line of South Park as a starting point, and they turned it right back over to him at the 30. So the Warriors had the one chance to get the lead. They couldn't do it, and other than that, they were behind the 8 ball the rest of the second half, and the credit has to go to South Park. They did what they had to do offensively. They did what they had to do defensively, and their special teams came up with a huge play in that 91-yard kick return for a touchdown.
No scoring in the first quarter. In fact, most of the scoring in this game came in the second quarter. South Park scoring first with 10.5 to play in the quarter and a 9-yard touchdown pass from Damon Smith to Devin Turner. EF bounced back just 2 minutes and 25 seconds later. Seth Andrus with a 3-yard touchdown run. But the ensuing kickoff, Rudy Mahokas, and this sophomore was a star tonight, 91 yards for the return. All the extra points were missed at that point, so it was 12-6 South Park. EF with 4:15 to play in the first half, an 81-yard touchdown pass on the jailbreak screen. Zach Benedek to Kevin Martick, and Benedek went over for the 2-point conversion and was